Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. Please do accept that from me. Apologies for starting the show around 4 or 5 hours later today. I was seriously under the weather. I had to take some medicine. I had to, and then sleep. It's important because the medicine alone wouldn't have done it. So thank you for understanding, and thank you for still coming back to be part of the show. I hope you're all doing well, and I sincerely do mean that. Today we have quite a lot to talk about. We will deep dive into the Chelsea Lewandowski links. We'll talk about Gnabry. We'll talk about Serge Kounde. We'll talk about Kalidou Koulibaly. A lot of all those things. So sit back and relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome to the Transfer Watch Show on Chelsea Perspective. At this time, given the time, what time is it right now? I don't think you'd be okay to call it Blue Morning Show, but I think I have the right to call it so because it's still 7 a.m. my time. Because usually the Blue Morning Show starts around 3 a.m. my time. But like I told you, I had to move it forward because I was seriously under the weather. I needed a break. And again, a whole lot of other things I don't want to talk about here. We here to talk about Chelsea transfers, and a lot is happening. And no, not so much has changed, but the situation is the way it is. That even though not a lot is happening, but there's always a lot to talk about. But overall, if you look at it, you'd really see that a lot isn't really happening. But some good development. It's starting to see that Chelsea are truly indeed serious about getting a Kalidou Koulibaly. And again, it's looked like they're abandoning their pursuit of a delete who's just only 22, whom, if you ask me, be more valuable for the club. And then he's equally a leader, as much as a leader as Koulibaly is, and also will have a seller value even if we decide to sell him in 2 years or so. So again, why are we pulling out? I'm seeing some excuses in the media that the club feels like he's on his way to John Bayern. I'm not sure why that is. You haven't even put in a bid yet. Bayern did put in a bid. Bayern, yes, I agreed personal terms with him, but he didn't come out openly and say, "Okay, I'm going to Bayern." And we haven't heard from Juventus that they've accepted the bid from Bayern. So that's why I'm not sure why we're not that serious about getting the player, given the quality he will bring to our team. I'm just confused. Again, I'll be using a single screen this evening for some reason that we're having some technical issues also. So maybe that's what stressed the life out of me, got me sick. But that's why I think will be good. This is Phantom of many topics. It's already in the chat. The first he says first is Kachila. He says is Kachila hosting this show. Yes, I am a hosting the show. I left out the other one run. I think he ran it for is it 7 hours plus, and that's because that's the automated show ran for 7 hours plus, and that's because I needed to rest to recover properly to be able to host this one. But you can be rest assured there will be an evening show also. Fifth to like is that Arsenal? Maybe Arsenal or yeah, well, I don't know who finished fifth this past season. I don't know, but more importantly, I hope you're doing well. And this is True Blue saying fifth is certainly not for him. Again, mid table or bottom. By the way, how you doing, True Blue? I hope you're doing well. I haven't checked to see if you sent me something. You said you sent it through your brother's staff, but I'll still check. Again, it says delete is overrated. Again, that's your argument. I want you to to elaborate and tell me why you think the kid is overrated. Is it because people probably because people praising him for how how much of a leader he is at this age, just 22. Again, you have to bring other factors into factor all the other bring other factors into your decision making process, and let us know how you think overall, if you still do think that he's overrated. And here it's just Viola saying, hey Kachila, hey to you too, I hope you're doing well, nice to see you, thank you for finding the time to join uh the show. Again, the lead is still only 22. Opinions are subjective, and as coach says, that's what you say was good enough to skip Ajax to a 4-1 win. And Ajax that had what's the name of those two Ajax, not Ajax. I think what came to mind was actually Juventus, not just Ajax. Juventus that had two Italian legends two Italian legends in the teams. He captained them, and then they won. I'm not sure if they won the match, but that's to show you how much of a leadership qualities he has in him. Hey, everyone in the chat. Hey to you too. Hi, everyone said Danny Boley. Danny, I hope you're doing well and welcome to the channel. So please, as you're coming in, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And the rumors in the case of Kalidou Koulibaly is that we're getting serious. We're serious about securing his signature. And this one here from Chelsea FC News says, Chelsea close to Kalidou Koulibaly signing amid delete and Jules Kounde decisions. I'm not sure what decisions they've made regarding Jules Kounde. Are we abandoning the Jules Kounde pursuit? I'm not sure, but we'll find out what happened. Again, but this statement seems as if the Chelsea they've forfeited the pursuit of Jules Kounde. What I know is that they're reluctant to go in with a bid for delete because they think that it's too pricey, but it just doesn't make sense. If you're going to pay, that's not me arguing that Koulibaly isn't a good option or wouldn't be a good purchase. Again, what I think is it just doesn't make sense to pay anything north of 35 million to get a Koulibaly, while the latest is 22, and we're trying to avoid getting him. It just doesn't make business sense with me, because if we get the lead in 2-3 years, they still have selling value. And if he decides he wants to leave us off, we'll decide we want to sell him to people, to clubs that want to buy him, then we just sell him for, for a good price. Again, but Koulibaly, even in a year, he'd be in exceptional form for him to have, a sizable selling value. But again, I'm not going to argue against what the club wants to do. We pulling out because Uncle Todd wouldn't spend the money. Again, most people have feared that he'd be reluctant to spend money where he's supposed to spend money. But we'll see what happens. Here again, let me see. There's some other update here that I wanted us to look at. Not that one, of course. I'm going to come back to your screen on me and try to find that one so we can look at it together. Let me see what we'll have here. Aha, it's the Gnabry story. I think it's picking up pace. Yesterday, I thought it was just a mere rumor, but it's picking up pace. Says Chelsea have started to explore the situation of Serge Gnabry. Rafinha is heading to Barca. Chelsea wanted to understand how's the state of the negotiation between Gnabry and Bayern over the new contract. No approaches from Arsenal or Manchester City. Chelsea are interested, which means we're serious about getting the player. The question remains, does he want to come to us? Again, we've seen the statements like he doesn't want to come to Chelsea, given that he's, he was once a London club player. He was once an Arsenal player. But the question is, how long did he play for Arsenal? Did he even get a chance to play for the first team? If he's done that, I don't think he played for them too many times. Probably just a few games. Or I think he was under Arsene Wenger, and he didn't play that too many games either. They shipped him on loan on occasions, and he decided to leave because he wanted to be playing more. But that's, by the way, again, if you're watching, if you haven't, take a second to like the video, and also please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That will go a long way for the channel, and thank you again for all the support. And I want to thank you for the for 4,000 subscribers. And as I promised, I will plan a serious giveaway that will be a surprise to everybody who's followed this channel. And that's a way of saying thank you to all of you. I cannot thank you enough. Again, it just seemed as if we're looking at to get Robert Lewandowski, and at the same time get a supplier who's played for him, a supplier in the person of Gnabry. Again, I think we're very serious about getting the signature, securing the signatures of Gnabry. And if you're in the chat, let me know what you think about Chelsea's pursuit of Serge Gnabry. To me, he's a fine player. And at this age, how old is he right now? I'm not sure. If you're in the chat, please do remind me how old Gnabry is. Again, if you're coming in and you haven't, please do take a second to like the video to help us reach even more people and also help the channel grow. Yeah, there's another update from Just Viola. I'm going to share it in a bit. And thank you for providing the update, because the truth is I didn't even do much of a research because of how I was feeling. The situation I told you about that transpired last night. I'm going to try to share this update here from Just Viola. Again, Gnabry is, to me, overall, is a fine player. I think we need to get him if we're really interested in getting Lewandowski. But the question is, I don't want to see, the truth is, I don't want to see us in a situation where we'll be again vying. Us, a Chelsea Football Club and Barcelona will be vying for the signature of a single player, and we end up, and then the fact is, Lewandowski himself, we've heard on occasions, he does want to join Barcelona. So it's something that wouldn't make sense in that aspect. Would the player make sense to sign if the manager wants him? Again, who am I to blow against the wind? Here, Ben Jacobs, a trusted source to most people, he says Robert Lewandowski will consider Chelsea only if Barcelona's move falls through. Barca remains confident of finally striking a deal with Bayern, who want to close the 45 million paid off. Lewandowski has also said he will wait for Barcelona. Negotiations stalled, movement expected next week. This again just sounds like that movie we've seen before. It sounds like the story of what's his name? It sounds like the story of Rafinha all over again. So this story, if we're still bent on getting Lewandowski, we might end up again finding ourselves in similar situation as that of Rafinha. And if Barcelona is his first choice and Barcelona are willing to come for him again, there's a chance they will come for him next week, like we're seeing on the screen here, and we'll end up getting him. And us, we'll end up again looking for alternate options. So I'd say, well, let's not prioritize actually signing. Let's not prioritize signing Robert Lewandowski, except like Louisa argued yesterday, except if the case is in fact that we may have been in a three-way discussion with Bayern Munich, because I heard that their chairman was, in England and the UK this past few days, and they did, in fact, they talked with Chelsea Football Club, which means there's a chance that sometimes they might have, they might have a deal in place that says, okay, we'll pull out of these so you get this player, but we really want this player, so you make sure we get it. So I'm not sure, but the whole thing is just confusing, and the theories out there. You could say, I don't blame anybody for believing them. Excuse me, please. Let me just take care of something quickly. And also, please don't worry about me too much. I think I feel so much better. And it's something that Just Viola shared with me. I'll make sure I do it today. Maybe that will help me feel even better. And I may well go for a COVID test to be sure that's not what I've got. But God forbid, I hope it is not. So again, like I'm saying, the whole thing is, you could say intertwined. The interest of the clubs, are everywhere. It just seems as if every player we want, Barcelona wants some as well. And if, again, I'm going to repeat myself, if Lewandowski really wants to join, if he really wants to join, if Barcelona is truly his first choice, then I wouldn't advocate the club to go for him, because they also it looks like they want to get him. If they started talking with, Bayern Munich, chances are they'll be the one to get him. So why waste our time trying to get him? Because again, he's better than all the strikers they have at the club right now, and the way they play suits Robert Lewandowski very well, even more than we do. There's a chance he comes to us that he will struggle more than he will struggle if he goes to Barcelona. So I'm not going to advocate for us going for him, given these situations that I explained, so we don't find ourselves again in a similar situation like the case of Rafinha. So again, thank you. Right now we have 17 likes and we have around 46 people watching. So if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Again, I can't thank you guys enough for 4,000 plus subscribers. That's you guys are absolute legends. Again, it just doesn't make sense. Like this comment, I'm a little bit actually pissed regarding the whole situation. This comment here from True Blue, again, I'm going to read it again. So we're pulling out because Uncle thought that won't spend the money. Again, what I'm hearing is because they think, what's his name? De Ligt doesn't want to join us. I'm not sure. I think the truth is that they don't want to spend the money. Some say yes, because they think De Ligt will be pricey. But it's a purchase that's going to serve you for a long time, a purchase that if in 2 or 3 years you feel like you don't want to keep him at the club anymore, you sell him and you get a sizable fee from him. Danny Bolly says, that's a precious to leave that guy. Again, tell me why you think so. OBA Nathaniel says, hi, bro. Hi to you too. I hope you're doing well. Please let me know that things are well at your end. Please, what's the latest on Sterling? Again, I think the announcement... I think the club, you could argue, are being strategic about Raheem Sterling's announcement. They want to announce him, I think, in one of those, probably before the start of those scheduled preseason games. So it's even a bigger, maybe probably it will be in the news that he will be unveiled in the United States during a particular game. So that would draw more crowd. I think it was True Blue who spoke that, talked about that yesterday. So it's a strategy that's good. And here, Gnabry is 26. Yeah, so at 26, I think it would be a nice purchase. That's in fact if he wants to come to us again. But I know that's a chance. All those things we've been hearing out there. The rumors that he doesn't want to come to us, that because he's played for Arsenal before and all that. Yeah. If you ask me, I said those things just may well be absolute nonsense. Again, show the club the money and then show the player the money. He will eventually come to us. Says Fabrice Hawkins has tweeted that Chelsea will sign Koulibaly for 40 million. Yeah, I'm seeing quite. I think I was going to say before time. I was going to say that Chelsea Football Club's pursuit of Kalidou Koulibaly has picked up. Actually, it's looking like because this is streamlined. A lot of them are mixed up. Even all the tweets are there. So I know there's a chance that we may actually be in advanced talks, as reported, probably in the process to sign the player, but it remains to be seen. But we'll follow the story as it's happening, and if anything, or if we see any development regarding the pursuit of Kalidou Koulibaly, but rest assured you're going to hear about it here. Again, I don't know. I have only one screen like I told you guys, because I have quite a lot of issue. I'm not in the best state of health, and also this the system itself, what the system to the right is, has just shown a black screen, and I'm able to see just the cost of it. That's, by the way, I hope that Koulibaly happens. I'd still be happy with Koulibaly, but I would have preferred us to get Koulibaly and also at the same time get De Ligt. He's an absolute baller. I like the streams, guys. Yes, please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel we have. If you haven't, right now we have 24 likes. Let's shoot for at least 100 likes. I will be okay with that, because 5 hours, not really late. That was the show was scheduled to start 5 hours later than usual because of the situations I explained. Again, thank you very much. Let's say again, it says Chelsea is second choice of a player now. I think it all depends. Players coming out there, with all those things we're hearing may have been, a PR campaign or a strategic, designed to put us off by clubs of which we're vying to get the signatures of the players, with not really the case. Or maybe as you think, again, I wouldn't just jump to the conclusions that players are starting to see us as second choices. I don't think that's really the case. Just Viola says, wow, 4K subscribers. Congratulations to us all. You've been part of the journey, always supporting, with advice and everything. So I sincerely do appreciate all your support, and I wish there are ways that I can show you how that is how seriously I do appreciate you always being available to support. Going for Koulibaly is an upgrade, and for it to be on the cheap, it's a blessing in disguise. Can you tell me how much you think is on the chip? The guy is 31, and this is not me arguing that Koulibaly will not be a good buy. Of course, if he performs, he will be a good buy. If he comes to the Premier League and is able to replicate his forms, and if is able to do as well as he's done in Syria, or do so in the Premier League again, then it's indeed a good buy. But for how much? If you're going to pay 40 plus million for a player who's 31, and we have a 23-year-old player who can do an equality job and serve us for even longer, if you're buying Koulibaly for the reason that the other player, the younger player, is pricey, it just doesn't make business sense. I actually wanted them both. This is not me saying that De Ligt is so pricey. De Ligt is a good player. We can actually have them both. Yes, we're getting serious about bringing in defensive reinforcements, but what are we doing missing out on De Ligt for Bayern? Like I said, if maybe these clubs, that it's a three-way discussion, like Louisa, my co-host, argued yesterday, and they have an agreement in place. I'm not sure how to actually present that argument for it to make sense. But that, by the way, I get your argument. Believe me, I truly do understand what you're arguing there. And again, I'm not going to argue otherwise because you make sense. But that's, by the way, here, Felix, nice to see you again. He says, Koulibaly is not a long-term solution. Sooner, we are going to be looking for new defenders again. Yeah, in 2-3 years, no matter how well he's able to take care of himself, maybe if in 2-3 years, because he's able to lead the back line. But but one thing to understand first is this: he's a different kind of player to Thiago Silva. I don't think he'd be able to lead the back line as comfortable. No, let me just put it this way: in the manner at which Thiago Silva does, fulfills that leadership role in the back line. He's equally a good leader, but Thiago is a different player. That is, you cannot compare them both. There are things he can do better than Thiago Silva, and there are things that Thiago Silva can do better than him also. So again, I wouldn't go into that argument, but he will be a good buy. But I don't want us really to miss out on De Ligt. If we miss out on De Ligt, I'm really not going to be happy. Good afternoon to you, to the Chelsea boy 1234. I hope you're doing well, and I sincerely do mean that. While all our targets that is in the blue has been taken out by Barca, and we have enough money to outbeat them, to buy those players, including Lewy, Dembele, Kounde, Koulibaly, and so forth. Again, I know that there's been arguments on ESPN arguing how Barca, how they're not going to be able to accommodate, all those players that they're trying to sign, yada, yada, yada. And again, if you've been patient, we've always had True Blue in the chat. We've always argued it's Barca, and what people are mixing up Barca being broke with Barca being in debt. Those are two different things altogether. Actually, they have money. They have quite a lot of money. Imagine somebody selling just 10% of the TV rights and got nearly 300 million plus from that sale. That shows you how big of an entity Barcelona is. And they have quite a lot of other means to make money, sales of merchandise, and they do sell a lot of them, and they have a large followership globally. So don't be surprised, how much they're able to make from, sales of merchandise and all those things we've talked about. But then again, that's, by the way, we move on from the Barca talk to all the topics we have to talk about. It wouldn't make sense to always make the topic Barcelona, Barcelona. I think it would drag us back unnecessarily. Here, Danny Bolly says we need to replace Rudiger and Andreas Christensen. Yeah, we need to find. I think we're working in that. But the question is, why are we forfeiting the pursuit of De Ligt? I just don't understand. Maybe are they talking to another player who'd come in and do a good job, or maybe who's better than De Ligt? I don't know who that player is. If you're in the chat, do let me know if you can think of any player you think Chelsea are probably talking with right now, and you think that player will be better than De Ligt. Right now, we have 26 likes and we have 56 people watching. So please, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. That will go a long way. I appreciate all the support and all the love you've been shown to this channel. Again, 4,051 subscribers. We were not even that close to getting there a few days ago, but I was confident that we will because of all the support that I get from you guys. So thank you. Thank you. I sincerely do appreciate that. That means a lot to me and to the channel, to everybody who supports the channel. Again, I was not where we were. Yeah, that's exactly where we were. Let's see. De Ligt wants a Bayern. Who told you that? And again, it's simple. My argument will always be we pulled out because we feel like he's too pricey. And then I've seen reports who said the same thing. Koulibaly is a solid player. I'm happy. But why are we pulling out of the De Ligt? Why are we forfeiting the pursuit of De Ligt? I just don't know why. Let me see if there's anything else to address here. We might have who we favor due to the different facts and beliefs of every one of us. But what we needed to understand is whoever we get is to hope they perform. And then again, yeah, that's a good argument there. I must say that's actually a delicious comment. Or let's just put it this way. Whoever we get is the manager's choice, because we've always called for the manager to be backed. And now you could argue the club, they've decided to back the manager. So we shouldn't actually question, their pursuit of any particular player. But why are we, again, it just shows maybe there was never substance to the rumors that we're going after De Ligt after all, because it just seemed, because we heard a few days ago that yes, that we'll put in a bid for De Ligt, and then it turned out we didn't do anything like that. We didn't put in a bid, and neither Juventus have. It turns out the only truth to everything we've always been hearing is that Bayern have always been more serious about getting the player than we were actually. So everything we've heard about Chelsea being linked to De Ligt was actually hearsay, or maybe you could argue journalists making up stories just to get more clicks. So that's how I want to see it. I just don't want to get into it that much because it will, piss me up even further. It just doesn't make sense. Again, this is not me saying that Koulibaly is a good player. Koulibaly remains a good player, an experienced player, and he brings balance. But I'm not sure if we don't know other players at the club, is at this point looking at, then what are we doing really? I'm even more confused, but I don't want it to be, to throw me up because I'm pissed and I'm not gonna lie about it. John, not surprised as Liverpool team isn't the best. Okay, what's happening there? Did I miss something there? Okay, just add De Jong and Eriksen in the midfield. United will be back on track. I think if you're talking about how United they've been battered or they're losing the game, I think it's just a preseason game. As much as it's Liverpool that's been battered, so to speak. It's a preseason game, and I would take it that seriously. So we'll see what happens. Again, if you're in the chat, this is supposed to be a Q&A session. If you have any question, shoot. I decided to make it a Q&A session because I didn't have the energy to do much of a research last night. So I decided to be a Q&A question. And if there's anything you want to ask, go ahead, ask it. And if I can, answer your question, I'd try to find, help you find some answers from those in the chat also, because I don't know everything. The Ligt is too expensive. We don't want a repeat of Lukaku. I don't think the price tag will actually affect the Ligt's performance. you must first of all look at how confident, he's such a confidence player. I don't think the price tag could be a problem actually. After all, his move from Ajax to Juventus isn't cheap. It wasn't cheap. So take a look at that and still try and tell me if you think his transfer fee from Juventus from Ajax to Juventus, if that has in any way affected his performance. I would say no. I think he's done quite well for himself. The fact is, all these people saying the stuff about De Ligt isn't true, because if we needed him, I think we'll be well and truly deep into negotiations with the Ligt camp and also Juventus at this point, and which means also all those stories that we've been hearing that Chelsea wanted to offer a player plus cash to get to Ligt were also all nonsense. And I'm not for us going for Lewandowski, if in fact he's only waiting if the deal to Barcelona falls through before he considers joining us. It says Ben Jacobs, one of Ben Jacobs' tweets says, if Lewandowski becomes a genuine option, which should be apparent after Barca's latest offer, Tuchel is very much in favor of pursuing him, much more so than Ronaldo, also monitoring Lewandowski's situation. But this is early in the window. He's going to give Barca time. So if he's going to give Barca time, why should we actually be wasting our time talking about a player who that really doesn't want to join us? Which means it's simple. If you're saying this, if you want to see things from the perspective of how people consider talk about relationship, you don't force yourself with somebody that doesn't want you, that don't want you. So again, it's something I don't know. We should stop actually, trying to get Lewandowski. If he doesn't want to come to us, just forget it and move on from the player. Why waste our time? And then again, as Ben Jacobs, I'm going to read the Ben Jacobs tweets again. It reads, if Lewandowski becomes a genuine option, which should be apparent after Barca's latest offer, Tuchel is very much in favor of going for the player, much more so than Ronaldo. But here's where the aspect you have to pay attention in Ben Jacobs' tweet. It says PSG also monitoring Lewandowski's situation, but this is early in the window. He's going to give Barca time. If he's given Barca time, so on the other side, on the contrary, he's wasting our time. So I wouldn't advocate us wasting our time waiting for him until we shouldn't be waiting for a player until we find out whether Barca are serious about getting him or not before we start looking at other options. I don't think it would make sense at all. Koulibaly, make it happen. Again, let's see what the club does. De Ligt it's class. Lukaku is good. Then if the Ligt is class, why aren't we that interested in him? We might as well go for Lille, as Gnabry is not keen on playing for another club, London club, because of some loyalty. Now, I don't think his loyalty for Arsenal is anything serious and will be a stumbling block. If we really want the player, show him the money. It's as simple as that. If he was earning 200, start paying him 250 or even more if you can afford it. It depends on how much you want the player. If you really do want the player, it's as simple as I just said. Show the player the money. If he was earning 200, make it 250. He'd come to you. Show the club the money also, because Bayern, the truth is, they haven't given up on getting the player to extend his stay at the club. So it's not actually that simple. Again, what I'm trying to say right now, overall, if any player is going to make us wait to find out whether they're, if they're able to, to get a move to their preferred clubs, we should just move on from that player and start looking at alternatives who will be serious about joining us. Again, this is not about loyalty. Again, this is just about, because it only makes sense that as they wait, like this a statement here from Ben Jacobs reads, let me try and share that screen, and then I will maybe close it out after sharing the screen. I just don't want to have too many screens open here because I'm using only one system at this point. Here's where I have a problem with the statement here. From this area, PSG also, again, sorry, here where it says it's early, it's in the windows. That's yep, from here. It says, but this is early window. He is going to give a Barca time. So it's just common sense. Giving Barca time means all the clubs that are interested in securing his signature waiting. Yeah, some people will say yes, but we're second choice. So we should just, if it doesn't work, we'll get him. How long are you gonna wait? He wastes your time, and if let's say in 2 weeks or 3 weeks he decides to go to Barca, then it becomes a repeat of that a Rafinha to Chelsea movie, and I don't want to see that movie again. So it will be embarrassing if this keeps repeating over and over again, because if these things that we're reading from the media, except if they're all absolute nonsense, but if in fact they are the truth, I think we should just move on from Lewandowski and start looking at players that be interested in playing for us. This just doesn't make any sense. But I'm hoping that they're all absolute nonsense. Kitonga David says that Koulibaly will buy us a time to scout the good defenders without having to overpay for players simply because we're desperate. I think you could see it that way, but I don't see De Ligt being available by the time, the timing question you talked about here, we get to that time. He's a player, a generational talent, defensive talent, that I'd argue we should just get him right now and then count that one as secured rather than, start wasting time. And then your idea is good, but at least getting De Ligt and Koulibaly will be a good balance. I think that will fortify our defense at least for a year or to give us time to bring in even more reinforcement. I think I don't know why we're forfeiting the deal. Maybe we haven't heard enough of the reasons why we're forfeiting the pursuit of Kounde. Chunky Fat says, hopefully we get Aki and Koulibaly while promoting someone from the academy. Again, as much as I'm seeing this as an indication that is an increase in the possibility of Levi Cole staying at the club, I'm still not happy. If we really want to be a top club, we need a top players as De Ligt. But I'm going to try to move on from that topic. We're right now talking about Robert Lewandowski. Please do let me know what you think about him. Why are all these players rejecting Chelsea? Who's rejected Chelsea? Lewandowski, you wouldn't say he rejected Chelsea. Barcelona has always been his first choice, and at one point, actually, we heard that he's willing to run down his contract and join Barcelona on a free. I think it's a matter of the player's preference. This is not rejecting Chelsea. I think it's a different case altogether. And in the case of Rafinha, it is not about rejecting Chelsea. No, he agreed at terms with Barcelona as early as I think January or when, I don't remember when exactly. So again, we came into the picture. We actually tried to hijack the deal from them. But that's, by the way, says Kuchila, hello, my friend. How are you? How's your evening? Yeah, it's actually 7 a.m. here for me. I hear Chelsea in advance talks to get Bolden from West Ham. It's not a player I know that well. Do you mean Bowen? Again, I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that. Go check on Twitter from Absolute Charles. Turner Brandite, let me know what they said. And I think I have them open here if anything comes up, but I'll check them in a beat. Again, says just Real, but Real, that Gnabry said he was not interested in playing for another London club. Did you see him on camera saying that? That's the only time I believe that. Again, he doesn't owe Arsenal anything. He didn't actually play. I think he was out on loan, and when he got the chance to play, he didn't play that. I don't think he played that much for Arsenal. He wanted to leave due to game time. And plus, again, let's see that this way. Arsenal doesn't want him. I think him playing for Chelsea becomes a problem if he wants to play for Arsenal, or if Arsenal values him. The fact that Arsenal didn't even try to sign him means that Chelsea doesn't really want Chelsea don't really the Arsenal don't really want him. So again, he has the right to come join Chelsea. Just remember the case of Fabregas. He wanted to return to England, and again, he prioritized Arsenal, which means he wanted, if Arsenal are serious about getting him, if Arsenal wants him, then he'd go to Arsenal rather than come to Chelsea. But when it happened, he found that Arsenal aren't even serious about bringing him back to the club. He came to Chelsea, and the rest is history, so to speak. He won the trophies that he wasn't actually close to winning at Arsenal at Chelsea Football Club. So Gnabry's case is just, I think those are just nonsense being pushed out there by the media. So Arsenal aren't serious about getting him. So why would he be reluctant, coming to Chelsea? So that's just absolute nonsense for me. It says, blood, absolute nonsense, not what you said. Absolute nonsense on, again, what people are saying in the media there. Again, says, seriously, Barcelona need to, they need to be now. Why don't they just assign all the players? Again, what I'm going to say is this. I'm going to make this clear. They're not broke. But one thing I'm going to say is this. Why are they looking at nearly all the players in the whole world? That is something that just confuses me even more. What are they trying to build an entire 11 in one season? What are they going to do with the current 11 that they have? Again, and does that help their situation? With that, are they going to be able to actually, save money, service their debt since they are in serious debt? But that doesn't mean they're broke. I understand. So it's just confusing, and I hate talking about it again. Absolutely, we need players who are hungry and willing to fight for the badge. Again, Halo says, I see. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you here again. My Niger brother Eric Ablu says, Coachella, how are you there? I did well, my brother, and I hope so you did well too. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. Says, don't wonder Aki is average. Again, that's you. But I'm sure as a Chelsea fan, you're probably one of those Chelsea fans that, who cried, who were furious. One of those Chelsea fans that were furious when we let him leave. Because we weren't happy. We have to be truthful to ourselves. We were not happy when we let him go. We sold him, even though we had a buyback clause in the deal. We were furious. We weren't happy that the club has sold him. But that's, by the way, again, I have Eric Blue here fighting me, saying I have to disagree. The Ligt isn't a generational talent. Again, you're entitled to your opinion, brother. But I argue that anytime, any day. Look at how that is the leadership in that player at his age, at just 22 or 23. And again, he's good. He's really good. I mean, you have every right to argue otherwise, but I get your point. Very true. We need players like JT who play for the badge. Again, we'll see what happens. Loyalty these days in football, I think it is something you could argue is very rare. They do come, but you have to, they're usually players that are from the club's academy or players who's followed the club from, academy products. But that begs the question, what are you going to say when you look at how the manner at which Andreas Christensen left the club? So that argument now, you could say, is baseless, because when you come up with that, people will give you examples of academy products who's disappointed the club and will never be as patient as JT was. We want a 4, 5, 6 players, but complain when Barca wants the same. Let's pay attention to the argument. Actually, Barca wants they want Koulibaly, they want Lewandowski. Barcelona wants who again? Kounde, if that's the truth. I don't know. Barcelona also wants. Let me know if I'm missing anybody. Rafinha. You can't count Dembele because Dembele was their player. They're just trying to renew his contract. That's 4 players. Any other player there? Yeah. So I think, thank you for bringing this up. I think even I have been guilty of arguing that. I think that argument actually that Barcelona wants every player, I don't think it actually makes sense. Yep, I think we're just looking at things on the surface. And thank you for bringing that's actually. Let me say, this would be, in fact, the delicious comment of, then I'm going to highlight it and bring it up later on. So it just doesn't make sense to argue the Barcelona wants everybody and we want as much more players as they do. And remember, they will be selling a few. And we're hearing that the young to Manchester United, negotiations have also picked up. that he is probably going to join them soon. So it just doesn't make. Okay, they want Cesar Azpilicueta, they want Marcus Alonso. That's around 6 players or so. Or again, the argument still doesn't make sense that they want every player on planet Earth, and I don't think. It just doesn't make sense. But again, maybe because we just hate them right now. we will see later. Again, I think Gnabry overrated. If it is the case, I would take a bowling over Gnabry. Again, you are entitled to your argument. For the price of Aki, we could have gotten Kounde. Again, says it's like Barcelona are holding all the cards on the transfer window. Bowen, yeah, but that's the name I'm thinking. Didn't he score? He scored against us the last time we played against them. And please let us know. Is the question from Gitonga David, is Manchester United showing that even without a signing, they can beat Liverpool? Again, different manager, different approach. And then you get what is called the new manager bounce. You could argue that's happening right now at Manchester United. And Ten Hag, I think you could argue all the managers they've had from the reign of Solskjaer to this point, I think you could argue he's better than them in terms of how he approaches game. And he had that knack for looking at the player, especially young players, and be able to get them to perform at an unbelievable level. Look at what he's able to do at Ajax. They'd lose tons of players. They'd lose tons of players, and they'd still be on a very, very high level next season. Remember, we actually wanted Ten Hag, but he didn't want to come to us. Again, he's that good. Maybe I think just get him a few players here and there. You don't actually have to get too many players, and you see Manchester United performing at a whole different level. Remember, they have, is it Van der Beek that couldn't perform under Solskjaer and the subsequent managers after him. I think you could say resuscitate Van der Beek's career, and if they get the young, be afraid, because they'd be on another level this coming season. Remember, I told you that. But that's, by the way, again, we have 85 people watching and we have 37 likes. Thank you again for 37 likes. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. It says, pay no attention to preseason games. I think that's another argument, though. That's not another argument. But when you're playing to rivals from the same league, I think it goes into record. Again, just like you should take it seriously, maybe not too seriously. And again, it depends on the players that the other manager, they are, you could argue, fielding for the game. That also, you should also consider those things. But at the same time, you don't want to take it lightly when you're playing against a rival. And True Blue, I know you too well to argue that, okay, if that's what you're talking about, if we're really, talking about not taking games that too seriously, are you going to say the same thing when we play Arsenal in a preseason friendly? No, I'd say we must get a win. No need to even joke with it. It's Arsenal. We need to win, beat them, even if it's a preseason games. So again, that's my argument. I say Manchester United FC now have a real coach. They do, and that's my argument. And I'm afraid all you need to do is just get a few players here and there, and believe me, they'd be firing on all cylinders. That's how good he is. Again, it says, if I salute you, God bless you. And I like it that always, whenever you come in here, you speak our language. That makes me happy, again, knowing that I have people who speak my dialect precisely here. Again, thank you very much for always supporting the channel. And please keep telling other people about Chelsea Perspective and the Blue Morning Show. But you could argue this is not the Blue Morning Show because it started 5 hours after, the time our Twitch Blue Morning Show usually starts. Kachila, I don't understand why would we pay 50 million plus for overrated Aki. Then we sold to Bournemouth for 20 million, and then went to Man City, never got a chance at Man City, was on the bench. That pisses me off even more. That's not me saying he's not a good player. Look at where I'm really pissed at this point is that we're able to pay that much money for Nathan Ake, and then we're forfeiting the pursuit of De Ligt. It just doesn't make sense. De Ligt is a better player than Ake, and I'd argue that anytime and any day. And some will argue, yeah, but Ake's numbers aren't that bad. How many games did he play compared to De Ligt if you want to do that? So it just doesn't make sense to me. Again, the fee is where I'm concerned. Do I think he's a good player? I think he's a good player. I think Tuchel can actually get the best out of him. But I'm confused as to why we're willing to pay that much money for him, but we're not willing to add more money to that fee and then go for De Ligt, who's a better player. De Ligt can play on the right-hand side in the back a three system. He can lead the back three system from the central area. He can also play on the left-hand side in the back a three system. So why aren't we seeing things that way? Maybe there's something that's happening that we don't know. But again, even at that, even though I'm not happy, I still do think that we'll have a good window by the time the window shuts. Again, that's me. And I want to say thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for 37 plus likes. But I know we can do better than that. So if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video. Again, like I've always said, I'd rather you like the videos than you donate your hard-earned cash because there are other ways the channel can make money. You're doing enough by, watching the videos. You're doing enough by contributing in the chat. You're doing enough by watching even when you're not contributing, and you're doing enough by always coming here. So please keep liking the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. So thank you. You guys are absolute legends now. We have 45 likes and we have 75 people watching. So thank you for all the support. Even though we started late, the support has been amazing. So thank you very much. Akachila, it makes me laugh every time. Yeah, all the time. It just doesn't make business sense. The guy is a billionaire, for Christ's sake, and we understand he didn't become a billionaire by being dumb. So this decision is what I don't understand. But again, I must recognize that he doesn't make the decisions alone, and that's one thing I think we're not looking at. He has to consult all the owners because he's just part of the owners. He doesn't own the club alone. So again, that may well be the case that other owners of the club don't want us to spend that much money on this on the player in question. But we'll see what happens. Here it says to get a Barcelona wants to get again. Yeah, but they also want Bernardo Silva. I didn't hear that. I forgot. I didn't count that. Okay, keep bringing up the names, and if there are too many, I look at it and say, okay, yes, you know what? I think they want to get everybody really. Here's a blue blood. Everybody wanted a Fafi US owner. Bali is only a minor shareholder. That's the truth. Again, even though he's fronting the negotiations and all that, I think 20% is this or how much, I'm not sure. But again, we'll see how it happens. I'm still hopeful, even though I'm gutted, if you want to phrase it that way. The word for fitting the pursuit of De Ligt. Again, it's become annoying to me. The more I talk about it, the more angry I become. Trubly said leadership at 19, same age as JT and Ray Wilkins, and at 19 he captained the Juventus side that had Chiellini and Bonucci, two Italian legends who were good. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I misquote anything, but again, that's by the way, and I'm not going to argue too much about that, but I'll keep looking to see if I see any new developments. Be rest assured, I will bring it up to you. So thank you very much, guys. I sincerely do appreciate your support. Again, if we get, let me see again. Says Paul Brandon says, I'd like to see us get a rise. We're hearing also that we're looking to get them, and we're serious about it. Again, but if we're gonna pay that much money for Rice, I'm not sure how much we're gonna get him for. But if we pay anything north of 70 million or 80 million, then it's a purchase that doesn't make sense. Why do I ask that? Why do I say that? Because we have all the options in the club. We have Nathan Ake, who can fulfill that role very well. Even you could argue the defensive midfield role very well. I think that's one of his specialities because he's a versatile player. Although I want a specialty players there, but
that's not strictly Ethan Ampadu specialty, but I say we can do without. We can actually do without Rice if we're going to spend anything north of 70 million for him. Then it just doesn't make sense. That begs the question even more: Why are they going? Why are they forfeiting the pursuit of delete? People are already making excuses. Yep, again, but we'll see what happens. Kachila, I would think that Koulibaly wouldn't be a fit for us because was speaking to your mate who is a Liverpool fan, and he said he makes a mistakes, but I would prefer to go for Kounde, and I would have had three centre backs. I think I get your argument. Who makes mistakes? Koulibaly. That person I'm paying attention. There's no defender in the world that doesn't make mistakes. They all do, but usually when you get people who doesn't, when you speak to someone that don't really like a particular player, that always come up to with the argument on why they think you shouldn't sign the player, and usually start by presenting, prioritizing the players and the mistakes of that player in question. So again, it wouldn't make sense to even go to Koulibaly. Is a good player, and believe me, all the clubs will have him anytime, any day. So right now, I want us to talk about Armando Broja. Again, if anything, I'll be looking at the update there, or if you have a question, just shoot your question and I'll try to address it. Again, it's looking more likely that Armando Broja is going to leave the club. It's looking to me, again, in my opinion, he's not sick with anything. If the case is that his wife had a baby, we would have learned about that. Does he have a family situation? No, that's not the case. I think what we see, I think he's back at home, considering his options, which includes talking to other clubs, to decide his future. Because I know too well, like I've argued here, maybe he's afraid that Thomas Tuchel is going to see him as an out-and-out number 9, and then he falls into that trap, and then he won't not, really give him the chance he deserves. And this is a player who understands that there are no shortage of buyers. There are no shortage of clubs vying to secure his signature. So he wouldn't, believe me, it'd be stupid for him to come back at Chelsea and then knowing that if he goes to other club, because he's still very young, he needs to play as often as possible to develop well, knowing fully well that if he comes back to the club, he'd play fewer games. But if he leaves to the club and other clubs pay money for him, he'd be a starter. And then he will continue with his development. He'll play as much games as he wants to. Yeah, but again, I don't remember if his country made it to the World Cup or not, but that's not even a factor. I think it prioritizes the development or coming to be a big part player at the club under Thomas Tuchel, knowing fully well that there's a chance he sees him as an out-and-out striker. But I'd argue, let's give him a chance. Let's not even stop looking at other strikers, because this kid is capable of playing on the flanks. He's quick. He's good on the ball. He can dribble. He's powerful too. So those things this kid actually, there's a chance in a few years we'll be talking more about him than we'll be talking about Haaland. But of course, because he's one of us, we underrate him. Had it been if Broja, if in fact a player from another club, you'd see us rave about him. You'd see us push for the club to go for him, just like Darwin Núñez, who's also in the same age bracket or maybe a bit older than him. We were pushing for the club to go for him, probably because he's a player from another club and because he gets the chance to play there. So because Broja now is one of us, I think most of us, you could say a good number of the fan base respect him and want us to keep him. But maybe the manager and the board won't take him serious. Maybe they want big name players, and it all comes down to because he's one of us. We don't rate him that much. That's something that gets me angry. Says that people aren't patient and trust the process anymore. Again, let me know what you're referring to. If you're talking about Armando Broja, I think we've been patient and we've actually learned a lot, we've actually learned a lot about how the club sometimes what the reasons why players decide to leave us, not because they don't see a path to continue their development, or they don't see the manager trusting them and all that. But that's by the way. Kuchila, me mate, also he was world class 3 years back. Now he's like, if I was at Chelsea, I would get Kounde. The player wants to come to us. Again, I'm sure MC raised 3 RDLs. I'm sure you've also heard about the argument that Chelsea, what's his name, Kounde wasn't Thomas Tuchel's first choice. That it was the board, and it sounds believable now because it's looking like we're not even serious about getting the player. So let me know what you think about it. You have to consider those things. The fact that it's out there already that Jules Kounde wasn't Thomas Tuchel's choice, that it was the board's that pushed for his signing. So it makes sense again, but we'll find out what happens. Ole and Raggi were jokes. Yep, right. he was again. This is actually hilarious. Talking about how do you pronounce his name again? Let me just call him Raggi and not bite off my tongue in the process. Before he came, they were raving. They were happy that they were going to get him. All the talks that he was the manager that Klopp learned from, the manager, the Gangnam pressing and all that, the manager that Thomas Tuchel learned from. It turned out, I think he was absolute nonsense. Maybe at Manchester United, if you want to phrase it that way, Ole also was nonsense. But again, they have a manager. Just get him 1, 2, 3 players, he'd be good. And it's actually concerning to think of how much Manchester United have spent, and still haven't be able to find a winning formula or maybe build a team, that's performed over the years. The numbers are actually in the billions. But again, if you're watching, we have 85 people watching right now, and I can't thank you enough. Even though the show started 5 hours late, you still come out to support the show. I cannot thank you enough. So thank you very much. If you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And if anybody asks you to pay, tell them True Blue had already paid for you. Again, thank you. And it says again, let me read that. Ole and Raggi were jokes. They now respect a real coach, and Pogba gone, De Jong and Anthony will make them a top 4 threat. And I'm thinking actually that's a chance. Tommy, I don't know, have United, have they sold Anthony Martial or if he's just a loan? I think it would have been a player that you see tonight bring out the best out of him, because he's a fine player after all. I just don't know how things have gone for him the way he has at United. Again, that's by the way, we were expecting him to be the new Thierry Henry. Again, that didn't happen. Here we have Chelsea all the way say, be patient and trust the process. Well, we are indeed. I am talking about don't take a preseason seriously, because teams may be a different level of fitness. Okay, not just okay. Now I get it. Thank you very much for explaining that. Again, are we going for 4 at the back with a 4 at the back, 4-2-3-1, Mount as a central attacking midfielder, or 4-2-2-2 with 2 cams? I think 4-2-2 is the most likely, because it's a formation that I've seen Tuchel deploy on occasions. I think he likes it. There's a chance we change the formation on this coming season, but I wouldn't advise you to hold your breath on that. I think that happening depends on how many players we're able to get in. First of all, that's why I'm saying honestly, and I'm serious about it. Don't hold your breath and trust that you're going to be safe. and you think we're going to change the formation this coming season. I wouldn't advise that. So, but thank you, Mohammed Sharik. Let me know if I pronounce your name correctly. I always like to try. Again, we have 90 people watching, and we have 55 likes. We can do better than that. Please keep liking the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me try again and catch up with what we have there. It says, Kuchila, it would be a dream if Lewa be our number 9 striker, but I couldn't see it happening. Again, and I couldn't see it happening either, and I wouldn't advocate for him to come to Chelsea. If you're talking about him going to clubs like you say Manchester City, then he'd be firing on all cylinders for them for obvious reasons. We have a problem that I think we need to solve before we bring in a striker like Lewandowski. And hear me out before you shoot me. Hear me out. Here's the problem we have, and I know I've said this, and most of you who's been listening for me, listening to who are OGs here and have been listening to me for a while, will understand what I mean by that. Here's the thing. We defend as a unit. But the moment we get to the final third, every player, single player in that team, half 50% of the time wants to be the hero. And that leads to us, in most cases, missing the chances. But at Manchester City, they defend as a unit too. But when they get to attack, they're even more of a team than we are in the attacking area, in the final third, if you prefer, because they're always looking for the best positioned players. But if you watch games, Chelsea games, although that has improved a bit, if you watch Chelsea games, the moment we get to the final third, the argument within Chelsea fan base is usually, Mount, he could have passed the player to player A, or Kai Havertz, why didn't he look up and found player C and find player C on the right-hand side? That has always been the argument. And that's because when we get to the final third, everybody wants to be the goal scorer. And that it reduces the number of goals we get, because we're not going to look up and try to find the best position teammates. That's why I'm thinking Robert Lewandowski is not going to be a guarantee that we start scoring more goals. Again, if the manager really wants him and the club, wants to get him for him, I'm not going to argue against that. Believe me, that's who I am, because we've all called for the club to support the manager, and if that involves the club going for Robert Lewandowski, I'm all for it. So, but that's, by the way, here says Lewandowski must go to Barcelona. He's not the right man for Chelsea. Again, you could argue that. Excuse me, please. I want to welcome my brother Deals to the panel. Deals, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you? You all right?
But I think I'll be better. Just rather send me a remedy. I tried to do it on my own. I get so pissed trying to do it because I get confused. Plus, how I was feeling. So I said, you know what? F it. I'm done. A sleep would do me a favor. So that's why I scheduled this show to start 5 hours earlier. But that's why we're welcome to the panel. Your thoughts and you have quickly. Let me just catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to you. And I want to see if you have any updates for us. And as you're talking, I think it give me the leeway to take care of all the things that I take care of on the screen, because I have only one screen here yesterday, this morning, because the other one is just showing a black screen with a cursor. I hope the computer doesn't die after an update. Here it says Lewandowski must go to Barcelona. He's not the right fit for us. There's an argument for that. Again, some people argued about his intelligence. You can't take that away from him. His intelligence is one of the reasons why he's the best strikers in the world. He knows when to take a shot one time. He knows when he needs two touches in the box. First one to set the ball, move the ball to a better area in the box, and then find the net. And again, but his pressing is where I've always been concerned, which means if Thomas Tuchel plans to accommodate him, he'd have to find a way to make up for the lack of pressing from the front line to the back line. It's that simple. You don't need a rocket scientist to come to that conclusion. Chelsea need to hurry and sign players, because I can imagine United. The only player I wanted, actually, I get your argument. The only player I wanted the club to hurry and sign is De Ligt. And unfortunately for us, it doesn't look like they're seriously interested in signing the player. What about Neymar? I don't think it's happening. If it happens, I'd be surprised. But we'll see. Bro, my data finished when you were explaining about Sterling's update. Please, can I know about? No, there's nothing new. I think the plan may well be to unveil him in the United States before the start of a game, which makes it even bigger because there won't be Chelsea fans at the stadium at this point. If you try to unveil him right now, I think the attention to most people. It's the preseason. So I think it was Tribute that brought up that argument. Unveiling Sterling in the United States makes it an even bigger occasion. maybe again that's my argument. So I'm gonna go straight to Deals. Deals, do you have any updates for us? If you have, please go for it. But before you start, please keep liking the video, guys. We have 59 likes while we have 84 people watching. So keep liking the video. It doesn't cost anything. It takes just a second. Deals, go ahead.
Yeah, so far we've been hearing about Koulibaly. I'm very excited about Koulibaly coming to Chelsea because he's got experience. It's the better, smarter deal if we bring in Koulibaly. I just worry that the Serie A tax that he might take a little pace for the Premier League to get used to the Premier League. But that will come in time. That will come during time, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
No, go ahead with your update.
Yeah. So I just think that getting him is experience, and well, De Ligt, we're going to be spending a lot of money on De Ligt. If we're looking at De Ligt, we're looking at 100 mil. And do you really think that we could get De Ligt and another defender in? I'm just looking at the price that we're looking to spend. That's what I'm just aware of.
The client brother, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, bro?
Big up, coach. Big up, Deals. I thought you were going to stream when I thought you had a bit of a.
I had to push it up so I can get some rest because I was a bit under the weather, and plus all the technical issues, like a whole system to my right hand side that I used to pull up other stuff aren't working right now. It just shows a blue screen with a cursor, and I haven't found the time to do a research on how to fix that. But go ahead. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. We're at the show, I guess. We're in the merry-go-round.
And that's what you're saying. It is, in fact. We're at a situation where not so much has happened, but there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Declan.
Yeah. So to what Deals was saying, it becomes that same argument again on if we're comparing Koulibaly to De Ligt on money and maybe not ability so much, because I know he's been reported as 100 mil, but the reason he is on the market is because he only has 2 years left. He refused to sign. They had a falling out on what to agree on, and if Juventus want anything out of him, this is the time to sell. Now you can't ask for his release, you obviously can ask for a release clause, but if he's not signing a contract, you might be losing this player on very cheap or possibly on a free. So you're not in a great position to ask for 100 mil unless you're willing to see out his contract and lose him for nothing for the next 2 years. So maybe it's not a matter. I think if De Ligt was to get sold to Bayern or Chelsea or whoever coming for him, I don't think it'll be nowhere near 100 mil. I think you're looking at 60, 70 region. That's what you'll be looking at. Unless Juventus have no intention of selling him, then they can say, pay his release clause.
Do you think it's because
we don't want to sell him at all?
Declared. Do you think it's because that they know Juventus have put a higher price on him even now because they know that we're after him and Bayern Munich are after him? Is that what you think? That they hired up the price because of that?
No, the only reason Juventus obviously bidding war to get the biggest price on him, but Bayern and Chelsea are in the position. They're not that desperate that we have to pay his release clause. They understand the situation.
Well, why is Bayern
they understand Juventus'
Bayern
situation.
has already put in a bid in the north of 70 million or so.
Euros, yeah.
In euros, so it's less in pounds. But go ahead,
so
you were saying something.
Yeah, so it's around that region. But Bayern and Chelsea understand the situation. Why pay the release clause? They understand that. Yeah, all right, maybe doesn't sell. Maybe Juventus want to hold that for 100 mil. Okay, next season he's going to be on 1 year left. Then his price is going to be that money's going to be cut in half. And then if Juventus is still going to try to hold out, then he just leaves on a free. They're playing a risky game like that. That's why his name has been thrown in the market because of this situation. So I think in terms of Juventus's financial best interest and maybe the world climate today, it's not the best of economies in the world. There's inflation all around. A lot of clubs and a lot of places will be looking for money. So to hold out on principle, I don't think so. So I don't believe he'll go for 100 mil. So then, I mean, I think maybe then comes the argument: how much will De Ligt and Kounde really go for? What would be the price difference? 10, 20 mil? And then if that's the case, then we weigh up. They got about, is it 22? Is it 8 years apart? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure the number.
So, which player fits what project you're looking for?
Koulibaly's 31 and De Ligt's 22.
Here's the question I want to ask you.
So it's 9 years.
The question I want to ask you: do you think it's a good business, decision not to buy him? Because at his age, even if you want to move him on in 2 years, or if he wants to move on in 2 years, he's still young. He'll still be young, and he has a selling value. And remember, Koulibaly will not come on the cheap. For Koulibaly, would have to pay something north of 35 million for a player that's 31, and there's no guarantee he comes and he performs. And again, we've learned how that maybe the case of Lukaku, maybe I believe, have taught the club the importance of buying the player, and consider when you're doing so, consider if the player will still have a selling value if you decide to move him on in a year or a few years. Again, I'm not saying Koulibaly is a bad player. We know what he can do, and to us, we believe he can slot in seamlessly into the back line and do a good enough job and be able to lead the back line even when Thiago Silva isn't playing. And all that, he can also play on the left-hand side if we're playing three at the back. But the question I'm asking you, Declan, does it make business sense at all?
Well, that's what I was actually getting at. You have one player that even Deals brought up. There might be an adaptation of a year, getting to adapt, right? Which we can't afford. You buy a player like Koulibaly at his age, right? We need this player to hit the ground running.
Now,
immediately,
yeah. And then you got De Ligt on the other hand, and also Koulibaly is a short-term. I don't see Koulibaly being a Silva and play till he's 38, right? So he's very much short-term, and then you also need to hope we have a young player or we go for another player. De Ligt, on the other hand, fits more the team's average age, right? Long-term, and can grow with the team that he's already, has a young foundation. And like you said, resale value. If he comes really good, he's going to be here for a very long time. And then what price are we putting on that? 20 mil difference, 30 mil. I think that for me, De Ligt fits with the age profile and that, but they're both good players, and we desperately need someone. I'd rather De Ligt because I feel like
we think we were getting them both.
If that was the case, then perfect. I mean,
I'm saying we thought we were getting them both. The rumors made us believe we were getting them both, but it turns out, if you remember, I declared we were told that's by the media that we already put in a bid. Or actually, they put in a second bid. It turns out we haven't actually spoken to Juve in terms of no official bid yet from us. But go ahead with what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it was Koulibaly, De Ligt, and Kounde, whichever trio you wanted the two of, that was being reported. It's a bit of a merry-go-round at the moment. Koulibaly and Lewandowski was news from before, and now today's cycle picked out of the hat, and now we're back on it. Who knows? Because when we were in for De Ligt, the rumor was that Juventus was going to get Koulibaly, that he wanted to stay in Italy, and
we heard
they were
that
going to get
too.
Koulibaly. Yeah, that was the original news. So I'm not sure how. It's just Who knows what we're really doing at the moment?
Yeah, because it's everywhere, really. It's everywhere
Yeah,
indeed.
we're linked with pretty much everyone.
Update on
Yeah,
Rafinha.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You can yell update, and we're waiting to listen. You're not talking.
Basically, he said that about basically Fabrizio said about register the Rafinha deal. It's done. It's discussed. Easy, difficult add-ons included in Rafinha deal with Leeds. No issues agreement in place. In the morning, 58 million guaranteed plus bonuses. The bid is official.
from Barca.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're getting him. So actually, here's what happened. I think they played it very smart, and that's good. Maybe we should learn from them. They had 48 hours then, right, to match our beat. Am I correct, Declan?
No, that I heard the 48 hours, but they had longer than that.
I think it was just people, the media making up stories that they had one more week or so. Next week they talked to them. But let me say they had 48 hours, and by the time we started talking about, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? What are they talking about?
My phone's about to die. My phone's about to die. I'm gonna be back.
Okay. And I thought they said it was just 48 hours. What's going on now? Yeah, I heard you. And then boom.
My phone's gonna die. My phone's gonna die.
Yeah, I heard you. You can put that in the private chat.
This is funny.
No,
what is it? I don't think it's smart. I don't think it's smart. It's
Sorry?
It's a desperate act. They've really fought. They've really done a lot to make this deal work. They've really had to, like I said,
no, smart in the sense. Let me explain what I mean by smart. But I'll let you come in to explain what you wanted to say. Smart in the sense that they knew they had they had 48 hours. Let me just put it like that. I could be wrong. And then they had to go do something for that time not to expire on them. Because we're learning after the agreement, it was just verbal. It was just verbal agreement, nothing else. And that was able to hold them down, to hold Leeds down till now. It's official now and everything like a deal was explained. But go ahead with what you're saying.
Yeah. It depends on perspective, and not the Chelsea one, the Barca perspective, I guess, or the person's perspective. I see it differently. I see they're in, they've been given, when you're younger, you've been given birthday money, and you're trying to make the best out of your birthday money. That's what they've been given. They don't have much to work with. And they really so we ruined their plans. They thought they had Rafinha for the cheap. They're gonna go get other players, and now they've had to prioritize Rafinha, and someone's missing out, and that could be someone like Lewandowski that they plan to get with the rest of the money. We've obviously pushed them beyond their limit, so they've made a deal somewhere, even if it's extra loan mortgage, well, whatever we've done, right? We've pushed him to really push for Rafinha. So Rafinha must have been a higher priority for them compared to other players that they've been linked with. And now that the deal's gone through, they might be actually priced out. They might be priced out of any other getting involved in any other transfers.
You think so? I think they're able to sell assets, and they have a lot of money. I think you know that as well.
They have a bigger debt though.
Yeah, but that can be serviced over years. That's over time, like in 5 or 6 years or so. It's not gonna. I don't think it'd be that simple.
Coach, think of this one, yeah. They owe De Jong 17 million, yeah. How much does De Jong earn?
I'm not sure how much he earns. Yeah, you're talking about his salary or so.
His salary.
I'm not sure, but I'll look it up for you in a bit. Let me quickly say hello to a great friend here, Lee. He says, great work, guys. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Lee Sule. Thank you for finding the time to join and say hello. Thank you. I appreciate that, even though you're a Manchester United fan. So thank you. Go ahead, Declan, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I don't think De Jong earns 17 mil a year.
No, it's not up to 17 million. I don't think it's actually up to 11.
So someone like De Jong has been playing for free more than a season.
Mm-hmm.
PK has been playing for free. You telling me this club has a lot of money and stability?
Not necessarily
They've been selling off
for free, but because they're getting some payment. You get the point.
What are they getting? How long? Sure, but... Think about this. De Jong has been there for 3 seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
So, if they're giving half his wage, is that 17 mil since he dropped in, since the first day he got there?
Yeah, I get your argument. Yeah.
They earn Piqué 50 mil, so he must have been playing for free for longer.
How much?
50.
Wow.
They owe 400 mil in wages, right? So even though they get their TV money, they pay half. They have their everywhere. They're selling all their rights. You know, the naming rights of the Camp Nou. They're doing weddings. They're doing everything, right? They're selling everything off, as much as they can, and they're trying to get every player on a wage cut. Every player, even Dembele. The only way they're re-signing Dembele is on a wage cut. If De Jong does not sign a wage cut and they ask him to forego that 17 mil as well that they owe him, right? He's leaving. I think there's a great chance that De Jong leaves. Anyone in that club, right, that doesn't sign a wage cut, they're trying to get rid of. And the people that do sign a wage cut have a massive release clause, so you're stuck there too. So Barca won't even let you go.
Just quickly, MC Rad says that Koulibaly Bayern have offered Juventus 97 million or is it euros or is it pounds? Please do let me know. And quickly, Declan, I'll come back to you in a bit. Koulibaly, Aki Colwell all play on the left side. It's Silva is 38 and Chalobah isn't yet good enough to start. Why are you saying that? I just don't know. I wonder what is the hold up at the big. The coolest chef is on the panel. I'll talk about his channel in a bit, and I think he's been busy, but I think his channel will grow because he's knowledgeable of the game too. I'm going to skip his comment because he's on the panel, and I'll have him speak. Declan, if you don't mind, because he says he has just 20 minutes to be with us. Let me see if there's anything else to speak. Read here. Honestly, this thing of long term doesn't work for me. We have seen our players leave their clubs when they are on the peak of their careers. Again, that's something that's very common in the football world. But I'm moving from that. Let me see if there's anything else to read here. And I think I have my brother. And again, my brother, Ecomics. Ecomics is in the house. Nice to see you, brother. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know that you're doing well. Barca have endless debt. Paid salaries, players on lower wages, asking players to lower their wages. I think would be better phrase like that. Some are already, yeah, I think you're correct, or some already have taken a pay cut already, so that's correct. But keep spending, and the players keep joining. Talk about a cult. I'm not gonna laugh too much, but the end part of the whole comment is just hilarious, and again, I agree with you on the part of a cult, but I wouldn't say their debt is endless. They can pay it off, but they have to manage their spendings first of all before they're able to pay that off. And if you look at it, they actually haven't spent that much this window. They're getting a few players on a free, aren't they? Frank Kessié, isn't he joining them on a free? Andres Christensen on a free. Yes, they'd be paying them sign-on fees, but I don't think they'd be paying them much in terms of sign-on fee. So I don't think, I don't think the debt isn't actually endless. And most clubs do owe money to. Manchester United, they're in debt to. Atletico, the same thing. It's just that Barca, because we're looking at it because I think maybe that's is bigger for obvious reasons and all that, and things we're hearing and they're doing. Kounde deal looks like it's off, and De Ligt is looking like it's going to. He's going to Bayern, so we need to sign someone who can play on the right hand side. Again, that's a very good argument, but we don't know. I'm going to come back to what Declare have always said on this final. We don't really know all the players, the club that they're looking at. And you could argue that's actually mainly the cause of our frustration and the cause of why we think the club they're so slow in the market. And I'm going to see, I think I will argue that a True Blue will probably gradually join that panic boss, because he loves De Ligt so much. And if at the end, if the club doesn't get De Ligt, I think he joined the panic boss. Here we go again. Declare thinks they have spent 270 million already. La Liga have imposed a salary squad restriction, so they need to shift up bodies to free up spaces. I think maybe they have plans to do that. I
can read out my own message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
let's just bring in because Tobacco says he has 20 minutes. Probably with 10 minutes have passed. If you don't mind, you okay? Should I go ahead? Should he go ahead? Go ahead, Declare.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
How are you guys?
I'm fine. I can't complain. How are you doing?
I'm good. Actually, I'm happy now. News are starting to pop up. Those fans were on panic mode. They will be okay now. But again, we need to send them.
Give us the news that makes you happy. Tobago, tell us the news that makes you happy. I know you're
getting Koulibaly. Koulibaly.
That's a huge news indeed. But are you happy that we're forfeiting for the pursuit of De Ligt?
To be honest, coach, I wanted to delete also. But again, if you're going to go to a bidding war with Bayern Munich and then we end up paying 100 plus for him or 90, that's a lot due to our budget. So if you're going to get, for example, Kounde and then it's not Kounde, I mean Koulibaly with Agi with the same amount that Juventus are asking, that's good business for us. And then if you go to buy,
I don't think there's a cap to how much it would be spending this window, because it wouldn't make sense. If you remember, I recall I think you were on this panel the day we talked about if indeed the quoted budget, if it was 200 million, that's not going to do anything actually, because there are two players in the market that you can buy, and you actually need more money to add to it to make it up to. To be able to buy those two players. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, I agree. But again, like as I was saying, if you're going to go to a bidding war with Bayern Munich and end up paying that 100 release clause for him, that's huge for us. And then we already had those players for huge prices, and then they become under pressure. They end up not doing well. So I think going forward, we should stop doing that. Just buy smart signings, just like the way we're going to, if we're going to sell the Koulibaly news, great for us. And then, yes, I want delete, but again, if you're going to lose him for Bayern Munich, I'm also good. As long as we're getting Koulibaly, because as a leader, we need leaders into our team. So,
the leader is a leader too.
Yes, he's a leader too, but Koulibaly is more experienced. So and then I see like the news with Gnabry are coming out now slowly but surely. If you're going, if Rafinha is going to Barcelona, then maybe possibly we can get Gnabry, and which is his price tag is low too. So that's a win-win situation for us if you're going to get him. So we need to spend money smartly, not overspend on players. So I'm happy with that. So hopefully soon we're going to get a few here we goes, and then Chelsea fans will be happy. So I'm happy, guys.
Yeah, okay. You have every right to be happy. Again, if you're saying they're spending smartly, I don't think forfeiting the pursuit of De Ligt it's a fact. Spending smartly. He's 22. In 2-3 years he still have selling value, and he's a good player. But that's, by the way, again, I'll let the client come in with whatever you want to say. Again, I appreciate you sharing the update with me too. I'll read it out. I'll educate the fans on what's going on in a bit when time allows. And again, MC3R, don't worry about the misspelling. It happens to all of us. And in most cases, it happens because your device, the so-called smart devices that they could argue aren't smart anyway, try to help you finish up your sentence. And then boom, boom, before you know, you've cussing at somebody you wanted to say hello to. So Declan, you can come into what you wanted to say.
Alright, okay, let Tobacco talk if he has to leave.
So you said you're good. You wanted me to move on, or was that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sorry, spelling Barcelona on Frankie de Jong, 17 million wages. That's why he wants to leave Barcelona. And again, I understand if Triblu explained that the salary owed to him, everything will be factored into his transfer fee, and it only makes sense. And again, before I continue, I want to say thank you guys for 72 likes. So we need just 28 more likes to get to 100 likes. Again, I'll be okay with 100 likes because we started 5 hours late. That's why I didn't even say blue morning, because it's going to be on morning in most areas that we're able to reach people. But to me, it's still morning actually, because it's still 8:45 a.m. But that's, by the way, please keep liking the video. And I'll repeat myself again, I'd rather you like the videos than you donate your hard-earned cash to the channel. There are other ways the channel can make money, but it starts by you liking the video. More importantly, you're doing enough by being part of the conversation, even if you're watching and you're not commenting in the chat section. If you're in the chat section and you're sharing the video on social media platforms where you have presence, those things do go along with. So thank you for liking the videos. Keep liking the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are absolute legends. I've read this one here. And Bamfordinho, again, I love that name. Brother, I hope you're doing well. He says, good afternoon, Kuchila. Good afternoon to you too, if it is afternoon, indeed afternoon where you are. If Barca sell De Jong, his old money comes from the fee. Yep, you've explained that before, and thank you. I appreciate that. Big up Kuchila panel and chat. Economics, a big up to you too, brother. Always nice to have you around. We may be using the training dummies in starting 11 if so many players leave and are not replaced. I think there's no way we will not replace the players that are left. And chances are we'll get players that will do even better than us, than those who's left us already. But I think one thing I must make clear is this. I think the club will be very cautious in letting players go if they're not sure they're going to bring in a replacement or be able to reinforce that area where we're losing players. And to my understanding, it looks like Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso will both be leaving too, but we'll see what happens. Again, I say it's the way. Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now let's look at the update, and I want to say thank you to my brother here, Tobago. And by the way, if you haven't, I'd like you to take a second out. Tobago, can you please get the link to your channel and share it in the private chat? My system, the whole system to my right, I'm having serious issue with it. It's I don't know if I should call this the black screen of death, but I'll try to figure it out when I have time and well rested. So I can open it and share it. Share the link to your channel via the private chat so I can share it to those that are watching so they can go and check out your channel. Go follow the Cloud on Twitter, follow Tobago on Twitter, and also be sure to subscribe to his channel. And when you do, please do let him know that I sent you. I'd really appreciate that. He's a good individual. I've come to know him beyond him being a fellow content creator. I've learned that he's indeed a nice person. So that that means a lot to me. Again, what else haven't I read here? Comics again. Okay, he's trying to educate someone in the chat. Is Chelsea working on something for Neymar? It seems that his camp is very quiet about whether he's staying at PSG or going out on loan. Here's the thing: Neymar is one purchase that, no matter how rich the club, that is the buying club is, it still be a difficult purchase. There's a lot to come with it. You could argue Neymar is a model, he's an actor, he's tied to so many global brands again, so that makes it even more difficult. But from what we've heard, I think PSG is an opener to a loan deal, to him going out on loan to somewhere. Where would that be? I don't know. I don't think it's Chelsea Football Club, because we're learning Thomas Tuchel doesn't want to go through the stress of dealing with superstars such as Neymar and even Ronaldo. That's just what we're hearing. There's no way to confirm that he's in fact a saint as such. But that's by the way. And now here's the thing. What I want us to read here. This is Simon Phillips. He says Chelsea have agreed personal terms with Koulibaly, with Kalidou Koulibaly. Reports in Gazette, an Italian outlet. The Blues have also made an offer to Napoli, which is close to the evaluation of the player. If anything, and again, I've argued that on the panel here, the Napoli president, he isn't the easiest of individuals to deal with in terms of business or you wanting to buy any Napoli players. Even though I knew before time, even though Koulibaly has a year or 2 years left on his contract, I'm not sure correctly. Again, I knew it was going to be very difficult. You can't even get him on the cheap. And we're hearing they've offered him, they promised him that he's going to become a member of the board. And also, if he stays and not leave, they've improved the offer they had on the table for him. But again, those things you could argue, does it make sense to the player himself? Making him a member of the board to me doesn't really make sense. So that means for the rest of his life, is it like more like a share in a business? I think that would make more sense. That would be more enticing than being a board member. Being a board member, you just like every other employee, you can be fired anytime, any day. So it just doesn't make sense. So, but here, this gives me hope, and I'm seeing some other update here which says that Kalidou Koulibaly has confirmed a potential move to Chelsea Football Club this summer. Is on the right track, and they're quoting him, which means if that's the case, which means really he may be coming to us soon. He's a player I want, but at the same time, I'm gutted. I have to be honest with you. I'm not happy that the club seem to have, they seem to be ready to forfeit their pursuit. That is, if in fact, if they're actually pursuing him in the first place, off the lead from Juventus. But that's by the way. Again, I'm going to come back to the panel, and I want to bring in Rodrigo immediately. He's the driver of the panic Chelsea fans panic boys. Maybe if he's decided to quit his role, he's going to let us know. Rodrigo, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm still driving the bus. Where is Sterling?
The brakes don't work, I think.
Where is Sterling?
Yeah, that's a good question. Anybody has the answer to that question should help me, because I can't.
He's on the plane, isn't he?
That's what we heard.
He's on a plane. Has a what? As a Man City player gone on holiday, or or has a private citizen?
Can't done deal. Why is everyone so worried? It's done.
Yeah. Tobago.
Rodrigo, you go ahead and tell us. Yeah. Go ahead. What did you say, Tobago?
Rodrigo is the driver, so he should tell us more about Sterling. He's the one who's driving the thing.
He's not on the bus. That's what I'm asking.
He's not on the bus. If he was on the bus, Rodrigo, we have an answer for us.
Yeah.
But Rodrigo, let's start by asking you, do you have any update for us? And while you are that, I'm going to try to switch up my internet connection. I think if I just find out the booster wasn't actually plugged in, because my boys got a chance to get in here. No wonder some stuff aren't working properly. Go ahead, Rodrigo.
Yeah. So I remember on this channel, I always said my first choice was always Koulibaly. I always want to have Koulibaly in the team. So I'm really glad we actually, if this goes well and he signs for us. And people are worried about his age. He's just turned 31. And we have an example in our team. We have a how old is Thiago? 37-year-old guy who came from the French league. And most people call that a farmers league. And he came in and he showed his level. Because as a centre-back, if you watch most of Thiago Silva, it doesn't rely on pace. It's about intelligence. It's about anticipation, knowing when danger is and close it down. So to have a person like Koulibaly is amazing. He's a really, really, really good player. Physically in the hair, very good at distribution. And I think, dare I say this, is better than Rudiger in terms of a pure centre back, I think it's an improvement on Rudiger. Obviously, I would have preferred to keep Rudiger and have him on top as well. But him coming and we need another one, I'm really happy. This is the type of signing that get me really excited about the season. Not a Rafinha, not a Serge Gnabry, a defender. I've been crying for a defender.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about
I heard he's actually the one who saying that the deal is on track. So that means he's actually interested in coming. It's not like those ones waiting for Barcelona to find money somewhere to pay for them. So he's actually, I think he will be a Chelsea player, maybe by next week. With the way we move, maybe by the end of July.
Yeah, it's looking likely. But I have another question for you, Rodrigo. Tell us your thoughts on the fact that I think we're learning that the club, they're forfeiting the pursuit of De Ligt. That's if we're really
happy. I'm happy.
I knew, because I know you think he's overpriced. But go ahead. Yes. Let me let you bring on your thoughts.
Yeah, I think De Ligt is overpriced, and when I watch De Ligt, he doesn't pass the eye test for me. He scores about 57% on eye test. De Ligt. And Koulibaly scores about 70 on eye test.
Do you watch the games with one eye, Rodriguez?
Maybe
I just had to ask.
No, but I get your argument, Declan. Maybe that's what he does. And then he does, those people, all of those people on the panic bus, he's the driver. You know how those on the panic bus, how they reason. And Rodrigo is the driver, so I'm not surprised.
Sorry, Coach, I have an update for Rodrigo, for Sterling. If you can check your DM, Rafinha is going. Yeah, Coach, show him.
Oh, did you share something? Just go ahead. Let me continue talking. I'm taking care of something here.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with. I'm happy with the Ligt deal didn't go through. I'm scared of spending another 100 million or whatever on another player and fearing him becoming the Dutch Maguire.
Let me ask you this quickly.
Yeah.
How are you arguing that the price tag would be an issue? Do you know he left for a large sum of large fee also from Ajax to Juventus? That on its own wasn't cheap.
Yeah, fair enough. That's why he fell to. De Ligt is a good player. I think maybe the price tag and maybe people were judging him based on that and judging him harshly as well, because obviously young centre back signed for a lot of money. So that's why if we were judging De Ligt as a normal centre back, he's an amazing player. But because we were judging him at the level of our Juve paid this amount of money, you should be at the level of Bonucci, Chiellini, or you should no. Maybe people use different scales for him. But even when I watch him, he's a good player. But for the money that they were asking, no. But I would have. But personally, if it's down to me, I have the power at Chelsea. I'll sign Koulibaly. I'll sign Jules Kounde, and then I'll sign De Ligt. I'll sign all three of them.
I think he's just trying to be nice so we don't fight him, because we already know you're the driver of the panic.
That's why I put him last.
Declan, what I want to say is this, really. Do you have anything? I know you have some response to all the things you have. Does this driver right here say?
No, I can understand what Rodrigo is saying, and he is driving the bus. So, I mean,
you have to be nice to me. I'm driving a lot of anxious Chelsea fans.
I know you remind me of speed. You can't go under 50, so you can't slow down.
Yeah,
it's gonna blow up. So
he's a bit lukewarm with his argument this morning, but go ahead.
I think Rodriguez just wants to see someone over the line, to be honest, like everyone else.
Give me Slolina at least. Come on, where is he?
Yeah, he's not coming. You know already he stays there, for, you could argue 2 years or so before he comes. He's still very young, and I know you know that yourself.
Yeah. Coach,
Yeah,
you know
but
the table. Coach, you know the table where players sign a contract on. It's gathering a lot of dust now.
Now who?
There's no one there.
Yeah, so it's gathering dust. That table.
Hmm.
We need to
Let me
polish.
ask. Let me ask this, Declan. Do you have anything to say about what we're hearing about Koulibaly? Yeah, I know. Have I asked you that question? Because I think I just opened the screen. I haven't. But go ahead.
Yeah, you did, but I'll sum it up.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just a merry-go-round. We'll link with Koulibaly before, and now it's his turn to bring up again. If we get him, that's still good. The big point, long talking point that I made earlier was when you're comparing De Ligt and Koulibaly, who would you prefer? It's a very different situation. Do you know what I mean? Like Koulibaly, it could be that we wanted De Ligt. Maybe it's not working out, or maybe he actually did pick Bayern, and Koulibaly's second choice. But Koulibaly's is maybe a shorter term choice, just for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
And there was
I
also
think
that
you guys
fact
should
that
just
he has to
continue
hit the
talking
ground
a
running.
bit.
Yeah.
Let me take care of something quickly. You should go ahead, Declan. I'll join you guys in just 3 minutes.
But Declan, don't you feel like Koulibaly might give us like at least 5 seasons, and then in that time, what's his face? Cole might actually learn and then might come in that time. So the transition from
5
Koulibaly
seasons?
to it's 31.
He's 31.
So by 36. Obviously,
But how old is Thiago Silva
No.
now?
37.
Wow.
But-
And you think? Go ahead. I'll join you guys in a bit. Let me take care of this quickly so the system can be okay.
Yeah, what you're asking for is something rare, like Silva, and someone that has put long-term thing into the body.
Mm-hmm. But I expect
Yeah,
Koulibaly to play until he's at least 34.
Yeah, but the thing is that 31, 32, and then come on to about 33 is when decline's about to start, right? And depending how good he keeps his body injury free, I mean, you got to also take into account he's been at Napoli for ages.
Mm-hmm.
Has he played that level of? I mean, how good would it be? Has he played that amount of games before? And the high level games, the Champions League, the finals. I mean, Napoli had a brief period of being near the top, but I mean, this is a step up as well.
Brief. Even last season, they were challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not much in terms of Europe and just Serie A. So it is a step up for him as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no. I mean, and the problem is he has to hit the ground running. Do we give him 1 year? But he's a quality signing. But there is some question marks there, and it is a band-aid. It's not long as it's gonna last.
I think he's I'm not worried so much about if you worry about pace, for example. I'm not really worried about that because I don't think he needed that much in his game. I think his game is about reading.
It depends the position he plays. I think he'll do well. If we play for in the back and what Silva was doing, and it's more with Silva he has 2 centre backs to help him a lot.
Yeah,
and Silva just has to control him.
Yeah, again, it's a similar argument people had when they say with Sterling we need to bring someone else, and I also would say, although I've been saying and one Koulibaly. But I also think with Koulibaly, you need to bring someone else. If you know what I mean. Right. So when you bring Ake, for example, because I don't see Ake as an alpha centre-back. I see him as a secondary centre-back. So for me, if you play in a back 4, you can pair a Koulibaly with Ake or Ake with Silva, because I don't want us to use Silva that much. I want us to use him sparingly. So if we play in a back 4, that combination will work. Or Koulibaly and Chalobah, if you know what I mean. So Koulibaly alone, if we bring another centre-back, another younger one, at a cheaper price, a Kounde, for example, relatively cheap, because obviously Sevilla are asking for ridiculous money, but that's just the market, then I think we should be fine. I think it will be either Kounde or Ake. I don't think we'll get 3 centre-backs. So I'll be happy with Koulibaly and Ake, or Koulibaly and Kounde, for example. Because if we just bring Koulibaly to the team that we have now, I still think it's not enough. In terms of... because then if we bring him, then we'll have 2 older centre-backs and 1 young one in Chalobah. I don't think that's enough. I think obviously Cole will, but we need to bring in another person in. Yeah. And I can see Koulibaly playing, if we bring in another centre-back, say we bring Ake and we still play in a back 3, I can see Koulibaly being the middle of the 3 centre-backs, and then have maybe a Chalobah on the right and Ake on the left, and Koulibaly will be interchanging him and Thiago Silva. I think it could work. We definitely need this experience. The thing with De Ligt, I agree with you. He has a lot of experience for 22-year-old. But it's just, for me, it's the same thing. You know how people always say about Declan Rice, and they always bring up the money. I feel the same with De Ligt. I think the money that Juve are asking is just too much. It's too much for centre back, and it's just, especially as we need. I still think even if we did get De Ligt, we probably needed another centre back, and you wanna blow your budget on one person, and obviously,
but that money is. I've been arguing that.
Yeah.
Juventus can't ask for that money. No one's gonna pay that.
Especially
money.
as the player really want to leave, So that's probably why Bayern Munich. Now, I think the other issue now is it looks like Bayern Munich have beat us to him. And I actually thought like...
Cut out Rodriguez.
Yeah, it looks like we lost Rodriguez. Declan, do you want to come in with what he was talking about? I hope
you didn't crash the bus.
Sorry?
Oh, okay.
I hope you didn't crash the bus.
No, I keep my eyes.
I don't think he did.
My eyes on the road.
I definitely don't think he did.
I just want a signing. I feel like with another signing that we.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez is having internet issues, but I think he'll be back in a bit. I'm going to try to catch up with what we have in the chat. I've left them, side. I haven't said anything to them in a bit. That's how I was trying to take care of something on the screen here. Again, let me see. It's still a bit slow, but I know it gets better. I'm not sure what this brother typed here. Pedro Madrid. Hey, Declan. Just somebody. That's just Viola saying hello to you. I said, see him. What language is this, brother? Is this speaking Spanish?
That's Spanish.
Okay. I'm not sure what he's saying, what it means. PSG want him out because his toxic attitude. I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. Just make a name for himself. Again, we don't know why PSG wants him out. Do you think really if it's his attitude? Tell us how you were able to arrive at that conclusion. It would be good to know. Because it's just not okay for us to stay where we are and then say players have done that. I've wanted Koulibaly at Chelsea for like 5 years. We all wanted, but then the prices were being quoted for his transfer was around 80 million plus, and we were seriously looking at him then. Like 5 years now, again, late than never, late than never, than ever. Except I get that again. It makes sense now. If it comes, it'd still be good for us. For 2-3 years, and I don't know why the driver is saying 5 years. Where he got that number from, I don't know. But that's, by the way, let me see if I have, again, where did I stop? It's hard to tell. A lot of comments in the chat there. Kachila is having a medical this Thursday. Ooh. Wow, that's serious. That's quick. Yeah, go ahead.
So, sorry, someone says having a medical on Thursday. They didn't specify.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. So that's really quick. Talk about moving fast.
Wow, we might crash now. We need to slow down.
No. You're not on this bus. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Let me check my inbox. Maybe somebody sent me an update. I don't know. But we'll see. Again, this is Tribly trying to talk about something here. Let me see what else I can read. My system is a bit slow. Also, it's still slow. I have a feeling Sterling will be announced in the United States. I think someone else talked about that yesterday. I think that may well be the plan. That will make our first preseason game interesting and excellent fun for more fans there. We wanted this player for ages, and now suddenly getting him, it makes sense. Finally, you get what you want. You'll be content. I think I like him. He still can perform, and hopefully he fits into the way we like to play. Link above passed his medical flying to US, where they will announce him there, so Barley can impress the US fan base. Yeah, I think you said something similar yesterday, so that makes sense. Koulibaly can play at the back four, and also back three. Rudiger cannot. I don't know where that argument is actually coming from. I think under Frank Lampard, when I think he himself is a horrible defensive coach overall. If you want to talk about it that way, that may well have been the reason why he's struggled under Frank Lampard. But we're not going to get into that argument right now. Just Viola says, hit the like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Please keep liking the video. I'm not sure how many likes we have right now because I can only use I can't use all my screens right now, and we'll not be able to tell where we're at. But again, I can't thank you guys enough. Right now we have 76 likes, 74 likes, so we need just 24 more likes to get to 100 likes. We can get there. Please keep liking the video, people. Again, let me see anything else to read here. And let me just go to the panel. I think I'll scroll to the bottom because I want us to switch the topic to talk about something else that's been bothering me. Declared, I'll start with you. The argument, again, saying that Armando Broja will join up with the team in a week or so, it just doesn't make sense to me. We weren't told the reason for him staying back. It's looking like more and more like the player will eventually leave us. Again, that's not me saying it's definite, but it's looking more like it. Your thoughts?
I think the first question I have to ask, which I'm not sure about, because I recall the players that were on internationals had a longer break, and I think he was playing for Albania.
Yeah, he did.
So I think he was part of the internationals. That could be the reason why he's joining late.
No, but Mount play for England, and he's already back.
Sorry, that was a mistake, Declared. Go ahead.
It depends on the games. It depends on how much they were allowed break. Rodriguez.
Yeah, because all the players that play are international and World Cup qualifying games. Even you look at the American ones, the South Americans, they're all back. So I think there's more to it, but maybe the club has given him extra time to sort out his personal situation. I think there's something more to just because he was on international with his national team. That's why he hasn't returned yet. Yeah,
I think that story isn't straight. That story isn't really straight because why are we learned yesterday that West Ham, they're intensifying their search for an attacker, and that they will continue talking with Chelsea, according to the reports, which means they've already started talking with Chelsea Football Club. So that just doesn't. The whole thing don't add up. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope we fleece West Ham. If anything, I hope we put like a 45 million pound price tag on him, because West Ham desperately need.
They will take him. You really want to get? You really want him to get him for that price?
That's the price, I think, in a fair market. I think.
Rodrigo, why you added? Can you talk about this comment here on the screen? I think it's a good one to talk about. No. Says Saar will be used to replace Rudiger, so we don't really need anyone. Plus, Barca will buy everyone we go for after anyway. Because I get that. But I want you to really talk about this again. I believe there's a player in Saar, but do I think he's capable of fulfilling the Rudiger role? I don't think so. But go ahead. Saar will do well in the back four.
I'll always repeat this. Malang Sarr is the worst football player I've seen playing for Chelsea in a very long time. Is he worse than Khalid Boularus? I think he might be as bad as Khalid Boularus. Remember that the guy that used to wear number 9. I don't see anything in this player. So I don't even count him as a football player. So hopefully we find a nice club for him to go to on loan, or if we can sell him, that'll be really good. So he can't be used as a replacement for anyone in our team. So, sell him ASAP. It's one of the first few. It's one of the names that I would sell. Yeah.
You just don't like him.
No, I just don't see. I don't see what he brings. It doesn't.
Here's the thing that I think most people don't factor into their decision when they want to talk about how good a bad of a player he is.
Yeah.
He got the chance to play when we have the issues in the midfield area, especially those that are able to protect the defense or screen the defense, if you want to say it that way. He got the chance to play then, and opponents were coming at our defenders at ease, with ease, so to speak. So our defense got exposed.
But even if you look at his fundamentals, like controlling the ball, passing the ball, he does everything so badly. So
really?
Him as a player himself, yeah. Every time, whenever when we play from the back, when the keeper passed the ball to him, I have panic attacks. I'm just thinking, Mendy, just put the ball. Don't pass it to this guy. Don't pass him.
I'd love to watch a game with Rodriguez. I think the whole thing would be a heart attack.
I think
my goodness!
Alanza scores a 20 on eye test.
Yeah, big up, Glenn. How are you doing? I sincerely do hope you're doing it well. Please do let us know. It's been a while, and thank you for joining. And here, Manny says that the Clyde is given weak arguments against Koulibaly. It's not like this guy is hanging around a bar, drinking and smoking cigarettes. He's healthy, pro-level players and modern medical science.
Can I reply?
Go ahead.
Because Manny must be drinking and hanging out with smoking cigars. So I think he must know. On an average level of when a player starts to decline was the age I gave actually. I'm not sure where Manny got his ages from. Can Manny reply? Does he believe Koulibaly and every other defender will do what Silva did? Does he believe that? Like the ones that don't smoke and hang out at bars, the actual professionals, does he believe every defender will do what Silva did? I mean, if you pluck out one little example in our team or just anywhere, and the guy's done such a remarkable thing to play at the level he has at his age, right? Is that the norm now? Because the normal thing is that once you start at 31, 32, you start to, it starts to begin your decline. And then that's when position changes and your amount of running and the amount of games has to be managed and looked at. And plus, you have to try avoid injuries because they will speed up your decline. These are a lot of factors. There's nothing I didn't say Koulibaly was having a smoke. I said Koulibaly.
No, that's just how.
There's a less chance.
Not just how put in a very.
I know. I'm saying.
Yeah.
I know, but I didn't say nowhere near that he wasn't looking after himself. What I was saying was, what's the chances of him doing what Silva did?
But
and mind you, Silva was a lot. And mind you, Silva was one of the best defenders in his peak. I'm not say Koulibaly is on that level. Koulibaly was nowhere near like
he's one of the best in his peak. He is.
Nah, see, the difference is Koulibaly has been playing in a team that hasn't been tested as the best. Koulibaly, you can say he was potentially one of the best, right? But let's see, throw Koulibaly in the ring, right? And like I said, for me, there's no guarantee that he hits the ground running. He plays in a lower league. He doesn't compete on European levels, right? Doesn't win the Scudetto. Like they're always behind certain players. The team has had its ups and downs because it had a peak when they did well. They sold players. They had some bad years. Koulibaly has not been tested on the highest level for me to say he's one of the best defenders.
Really?
And he could be found out.
But
He could come to any team and be found out. Right?
Rodrigo, you want to say anything to that?
Yeah, I wanted to say, in terms of Koulibaly, I don't think a player like him doesn't, with age as well, I don't think he's going to rely too much on his pace. What I like about him is the experience that he's built up to this point. And if you watch him, I don't know if Declare you watch the AFCON or some of the Senegal game. If you watch the way he plays, if you watch the way he's a solid defender.
Oh, yeah, AFCON and Serie A.
And you can argue that's another.
AFCON Serie A, the best, right? One of the best. But what about Champions League and EPL, like on the level? Anything there?
Well, in the Champions League, yeah, he had good game, but obviously Napoli are not.
They're not always there.
Yeah,
and he didn't have that great Champions League games too when he did play. The thing about it was, right, is he hasn't been tested that well. And you could also make the same argument that he hasn't been around better players.
Agree with that, but go ahead. I don't agree with that argument, but go ahead.
There's some players that look great that have never been tested. Do you know what I mean? Koulibaly should have left quite a few years ago. Should have left.
Yeah.
Do you know why he didn't leave? Do you know how much he
was priced out? Yes.
Yeah.
But he should have pushed it, right?
No, it's not that simple. And you know who he's dealing with.
Listen, it is that simple.
It's not Michael Scofield. He was in prison.
Yes, indeed, he was in prison because it was the price they were, calling for him. You could say then it was ridiculous.
I agree. Regardless of that, what I'm saying is that for Koulibaly to be one of the good defenders, right? To test himself as his career, right? He should have had a massive desire, and I'm talking about transfer requests, all that really push down tool if you needed to, right? He as his own personal career should have left earlier to test himself on that level. He has been hiding for so long, and having that great defender mark, and I said, and look, and after saying all this, I before earlier said, right, I like Koulibaly, and he'll be a great addition, right?
Mm.
But I also have the reservation that he might not be as good as we think he is, and he might not hit the ground running. I factor this in.
I think the better way to say it, to be respectful to what the player has achieved already and how good we can see, because you can't take anything away from him, how good he's been in the AFCON, and how good he's been in Serie A, where he plays, and how good it's been in games we've seen him before. I think the better thing to say would be, we're not sure how he's going to do when he comes to the Premier League. Because you can't just jump to the conclusions and say, we're not sure he's as good as we think he is.
No, but that's the thing, coach. So everyone's making all the defenders we're linked with, he's being compared to, right? And the biggest appeal that Koulibaly brings is that he is ready, made, and ready to hit the ground running, right?
Yeah.
And people are very hyped, and people will have really high expectations of him, where my ones are a little bit more reserved. So if he doesn't do well, I'll be the least disappointed out of most people, because I did factor that in. But most other people are really hyped. Will be very surprised if he doesn't be that great. So I think that's where I'm at. But I still think he's a good defender, and it'll be great if we get him. But he hasn't, for me, the Rodriguez eye test, going back to that, he hasn't been tested. Yeah, he hasn't been tested on high levels, but at the same time, I'm also going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He hasn't been around good players as well. Napoli is the highest level he's been on. So maybe if you put him around better players, he might get the best out of him.
Do you know
he might even be a better player.
Yeah, you know what? I like Koulibaly as well. His confidence. I think before the AFCON final.
In the AFCON, yeah.
Yeah, they said he's talking about Salah. He's like, playing against Salah is nothing. And then he proved on the pitch. He locked him. He locked him down.
Again, I understand Declare's argument. I'm going to catch up with the chat, and we have some updates I want to share on the screen so we can also update those that are watching and those in the chat. Here says again, I've shared the link to Tobago's YouTube channel. There you can see it. I'm highlighted, and I'll try to pin it at the very top. If you haven't, please go check out his YouTube channel. He's new. Let's let him get started. And then I think he started well because he had Declared on the panel that day. He had Bobby, he had me, and then 2 other people. But we can help him grow quicker than and get to the level he wants as soon as possible. So if you haven't, take a second to go check out his YouTube channel, and please do subscribe to him. Now, again, here it's Kami says Koulibaly is a top 3 center back in the world. Again, that's another argument. I don't know if I'm able to argue that. He's been consistently performed consistently in the Serie A. Again, what is that year? For like 4 years. Okay, again,
season.
Okay. This guy hasn't even seen Koulibaly declared in trouble there. Good news for Koulibaly. Yeah, but good news indeed. I'll take him anytime day. And Glenn again, thank you for joining. He says if he hits the ground running, perfect. But I reckon the first couple of months could be shaky. Again, this something I think Rodrigo alluded to when he talked about Koulibaly. His intelligence. He's an intelligent player. He's not. He's powerful, and he's got a powerful build too. But that doesn't take away from him that he's an intelligent player, and that does go a long way for players who defend him. Because the slightest misjudgment or that is miscalculation in a defensive area can be colossal to the whole team entirely. I think he's that good, but we'll see what happens. Again, I agree. There's a chance he comes, and it takes a while, to get used to the pace of the Premier League, and however you want to phrase it. But that's by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
So did you see Mendy's quote? I saw someone said, "Oh, we lost Rudiger and Christensen, but something along the line that he's excited about players, the defenders are coming." I saw that somewhere. Apparently, Mendy said it.
So that's a giveaway.
The giveaway, yeah.
Yep.
What did Mendy say?
Apparently, he said.
Go ahead. Explain, Rodrigo.
Yeah, apparently he said he's disappointed that we've lost Rudiger and Christensen, but he's very excited by the defense.
His mate that's coming.
Yeah. His mate is coming, but obviously he didn't say his mate. But the way
it's open to interpretation. But again, it will make sense if you argue that's exactly what he's referencing. You want to argue otherwise, Declan? You always like to stay on the opposite lane.
If Koulibaly is coming, I think Mendy is a factor. Help that move.
Yeah, and also
and let me ask you this quickly: do you think it's still be difficult for him to adapt when we have Mendy? I think he helps Mendy, and Mendy also will help him.
Exactly.
Mendy's a keeper, so I don't know about that.
No, but shouting. Communication.
This is how you have to look at the step up, right? And this is an argument I made a couple of times here already, right? Right now for me, remember how I talked about APL proven? Our league, right? APL league is the compared to the other leagues is the talent and the quality and the speed, right? And the tactics, they're moving away. It's widening the gap, right? So anyone that comes outside the EPL that never played before, right? It's gonna shock them, right? Because of how much of a step up it is. It didn't used to be like that, right? That's why people can bring up old examples, and the old examples work. But right now, and over the last couple of years, you can see all the EPL teams, how they're dominating. They play more games than ever, and they play harder games, right? And for someone, look, I'll use using Koulibaly as an example. That's going to be a shock for him, week in and week out, right? He's playing real hard games that he's not used to, and the amount of games that he hasn't played before, right? And he might really step up to the occasion. He might. Some players, right, when they're around better players, they actually excel even more. Right, it gets more the best out of him, right? So Koulibaly can't do that, but Koulibaly also, can be caught off guard, right, on how much talented, how quick players are. He might give away some penalties. He's not used to, right? He's not used to that, and it might take some time, or he might never. But the fact that he's 31, he might never actually get used to that, right? But why I've mentioned this before. Why I like Koulibaly in where Silva plays, because right now, if we play the same way we play, Silva has help from left and right centre backs.
Yeah.
But Silva is more, a big part of it is part of the build up and controlling that back line, telling everyone what to do, and he makes it narrow, and he can make some special, like specific tackles down the intelligent tackles, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's not a there's not a massive physical demand on Silva, and that's why I think we're getting the best out of Silva at that age in that role. I think Koulibaly can also fulfill that, right, in a backup to him. But once you start to if you put Koulibaly in what Rudiger, I keep calling Rudiger. What Rudiger was doing, right? This is where his physicality might get a shock on how quick everything is. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the position you put him in, right? Because Rudiger was all power and speed, right? And probably quicker than Koulibaly, right?
Yeah,
and
well,
this is something that he's been used to. Yeah, but like I said, if we're getting Koulibaly, right, on 30-40 million, that's a steal. But what the argument comes with me, because people have started the argument again about De Ligt being too expensive and Koulibaly being cheap, right? But when the real values come out, what if they're 10-20 million difference? That's when I start to prefer De Ligt, if the wage transfer thing isn't that far apart. Do you know what I'm saying? And people are trying to make arguments that Koulibaly is the ready-made and ready to go.
Are you factoring the wages as well in your equation?
I think the wages...
The leagues would definitely command higher wage.
I think they'll be similar. I think they won't be far apart as well.
No.
Koulibaly will also command some big wages as well.
I heard
his last contract.
I heard like 180.
Okay,
and how much would De Ligt get, you reckon?
We're not sure because we haven't actually talked to him.
250, yeah, 250.
That's still not greatly apart for me. You're talking about 180 to 70k. Yeah, that's still not a great, great thing apart. But how long do you get Koulibaly and how long do you get of De Ligt? And also you got to factor in De Ligt has a resale value, where Koulibaly won't. So even though you give De Ligt more, even though you pay a little bit more.
Yeah, we just unintentionally, and again, just diving into another argument altogether. But I get your point. So I'll catch up with the chat, and I have some updates, and I want to share on the screen. Julius Amos says, "Did you watch the Champions League?" This is for you, Declan. You have a fight, to catch up with. Did you watch the Champions League match between PSG and Napoli? Go and check what he did to the likes of
what year was that?
Mbepa and the likes of. And the likes again. Go ahead, Julius. You have a question, a counter question from Declan. He's asking you what year that was. But that's, by the way, says good to see finally getting linked to Gnabry Kyle link up is exciting. I think they both. I think they have a good. I don't know. I haven't seen them. I'm not sure I've seen them together for Germany. Maybe I missed it or something. Please let me know.
I looked it up. So to go back, who said it again?
I think it was for Julius Armour.
Yeah, so that was 2018, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, Koulibaly was 27, and 4 years ago, I think Mbappe was 18, 19. Is that correct?
Yeah, around that number.
Yeah,
so you're saying that's irrelevant at this point. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you're talking about an 18, 19-year-old Mbappe and a peak Koulibaly.
It's not about pace. It's about his intelligence to able to read what the opponent wants to do. That's how I see it. And I think it's...
Wait, do you think... Hold on. So you believe Mbappe...
has that in him, and I don't think the club will be going for him.
Hold on. Do you think
Go ahead.
Mbappe has not developed a lot in that 4
He
years?
has developed also, and you could argue the same.
And hold
you
on,
could
has
make the same
Koulibaly
argument
not
for
declined?
Koulibaly, sorry?
Has not and has Koulibaly not declined from 27?
Pace, maybe.
Mhm.
Yes. So if Koulibaly came up against Mbappe, would there be a similar result? What that chat was saying?
I
Is
still
that how he
believe
felt?
so. Yeah, he'll get the chance to beat him, and in most cases, he'd stop him. Look at Thiago Silva. How has he been able to deal with the pacey attackers we have in the Premier League?
He doesn't. He doesn't.
No, let me explain
the
something
target
to
team
you.
as well.
Here's something that makes Thiago Silva different, and I think Koulibaly has that in him too. Thiago Silva is always he's played the game so much, and he's played against so different types of attackers that you can mention, that he's learned the best way to approach him. It's not even the youngest player. You wouldn't even get the chance to race against him, let alone outpace him, because he'd be in the right place, in the right time to stop you to even getting the chance to race against him. Sometimes also it comes down to the structure of the team. Other players wouldn't even allow you get the chance to race against him, let alone outpace him. That's just the truth. But his intelligence does more than his pace would do for him.
Coach, have you? I know Rodrigo has, right? Are you familiar with Voltron or Transformers and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what Silva has is a left and right arm, right, or left and right leg, however you want to look at it, right? They've joined up together, and it's Rudiger and let's put, who do you want to put? Reece James, Aspie on the right. Who's your right centre back? Right, whoever it is, I'm gonna put Reece James there, right? That's his left and right arm. He's in the middle. He's the body and the brain, right? They've joined up together. This is the centre back, right? And a defender comes, he puts his left leg out, Rudiger, chase, right? On the right side, he comes, right? That's how it's playing. If they come through the middle, it's tight. He has to make one tackle, and there's not much to go because he still has his left and right, right? It's very narrow, but they come out wide. Yep, Rudiger's gone, chase him down, cover, press. He's out behind, tells him, right? If it comes on the right, that left and right, he's had help. And it's very great. We're getting the best out of him. Do you think if I put Silva where Rudiger was playing, he can do what Rudiger did and chase and have him chase?
Can you ask that question again?
Do you think Silva can do what Rudiger was doing, or what Reece James was doing on the left and right?
No, he
backs?
can't. He can't, because at this point, even if he wasn't a specialty player, at this age, he's a specialty player. He always needs to be in the middle.
Yes, and so that's why if we go to back four, maybe he might be exposed, but maybe not. Silva needs someone to do the running for him while he's the brains and does the intelligent.
And I talked about that,
controls.
and that was why I say sometimes what helps is the structure of the team, because the other players won't even let you get the chance to race against him, let alone outpace him. But the whole thing he does right for us now comes down to his intelligence, not because of his pace. But go ahead.
Yeah, so if Koulibaly is up to that speed and can keep up with what Rudiger was doing, he'll be perfect. But if not, he's perfect for where Silva plays. But that doesn't solve our problem. We still need those defenders.
Yeah, that's
that we're lacking on the left.
You
and
remember
right.
I said earlier we need to get another centre back. Koulibaly alone is not enough. So if we get
we're not arguing that's enough. But go ahead, Rodrigo.
If we lose
Aspie,
yeah,
we might need more.
If we lose, of course, if we lose Aspie, but if we don't lose Aspie, we get Nathan Ake to play on the left, Koulibaly in the middle, and Chalobah on the right.
But here's the thing: even with Aspie available, that's not enough.
What about the backups?
So we need three.
We might. It'll be a dream to get the three we've been talking about, because if Aspie goes, which was kind of looking like he was going to go, to be honest.
And we're hearing that the club, I've told them they can leave. him and Alonso. So
And
I
if we're
think
still gonna play-
him just being part of the US toys is, I think the club respects him. And again, you can't take away from the fact that he's an exemplary professional. And I think he has no matter what happens, he has my respect. Would I prefer him to stay? I would. That doesn't necessarily mean he gets to start, majority of even 40% of the games. He does I think he offers more than him just being being on the pitch and playing during match days. But that would be selfish of us. Like I'm hearing the Roman, requested that we let him, have it his way. And if it's his way is him deciding to leave, we should just let him go. But go ahead.
Yeah, if we're still going to play three in the back, we're going to need more. I mean,
Even with four at the back, we still need more. Even if he stays, we need more. Because he's in decline. That's there for everyone to see.
Because Silva can't play the amount of games he played, so there is that factor as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't. I think maybe 2 might not be enough, depending if we're throwing Corwell in there, or any other youth, or Ampadu, or something like that. Definitely one has to come out of there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine buying 3 defenders. That's probably your whole budget for whatever they wanted to spend. I still think that. I know it's quite interesting. I think we've just spread, maybe spread thin, or just spread out whoever wanted to come in, and I think there still might be players that that haven't hit the news yet too.
I think we've talked about it a million times. That's why we're asking people to calm down, and we're not even halfway into the transfer window. I think we'll still sign a lot of good players, but it will be a mixture of players that we knew that the club, that they've been talking to, and a few we didn't expect them to actually, to be talking to, that we didn't know that they've been talking with. So let me just share the update with everyone in the chat so we can move on to any new development. If that any, we have about 20 minutes to wrap up the show. I think because we're still going to have the evening show to follow up, because things are, the news, you could argue, are coming in thick and fast. Right now, this is from Adam Newson, who says, told Raheem Sterling is expected to arrive in Los Angeles in the next 24 hours ahead of his move to Chelsea being officially confirmed. I think in this case, I think everything is done. Like a True Blue argued yesterday, the plan may be to unveil him in the stadium during Chelsea's first preseason games. And while we're at it, again, I want to say thank you for 89 likes already. You guys are absolute legends. I cannot thank you enough. We still have 66 people watching. If you haven't, please do take a second to like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And I want to say also thank you very much. Let me see if I can share that here. For 4,064 subscribers, that's not easy. We hit 4,000 subscribers yesterday, and now again, a few hours later, we are at 4,064 subscribers. That's not easy. Thank you for all your support for this channel. Again, it wouldn't be doing so well if it wasn't for your support. And again, please keep liking the video because, like I've told you, I'd rather you like the videos than you donating your hard and cash to the channel. There are other ways the channel can make money, and you're doing enough already by being in the chat, contributing with your inputs also, and you watching even when you're not talking or talking in the chat. Those things do go along with for the channel. Right now, we need just 8 more likes to get to 100 likes. I can't thank you enough for the tremendous support. Even though we started the show 5 hours late today, look how many people we have watching and how many likes we have already. So thank you. Now, Fabrizio Romano says that Raheem Sterling can be considered a new Chelsea player. This is important to pay attention to. Why did he say that? He says that documents are signed, medicals completed in London, and player flying to LA in order to be unveiled as new CFC signing in the United States. Just the script that I must give a True Blue credit. Just as he talked about that it will happen yesterday, maybe that may well be the plan, and that's indeed the plan as we're learning here. Yes.
Coach, Chelsea need to look at the carbon footprint. Come on. The guy was in Jamaica. That's closer to the US. We have to fly him to England, and then he has to fly back to Jamaica. Come on. That's bad. That's bad.
Okay.
But for the environment, come on, Chelsea. You can do better.
But he says that the contract is until 2027. I hope that makes sense to you guys there. And we have this one from Absolute Chelsea, which says Kalidou Koulibaly has accepted Chelsea's 4-year contract offer, 3-year with option. Chelsea are ready to pay around 40 million. It's now down to Napoli. Look, as much as I know Koulibaly is one of the best centre-backs in the world, I think paying anything north of, I think it's euros, so in pounds it should be a little less. To me, I think that's too much for a 31-year-old, which you can, in terms of from an age perspective, he doesn't have a selling value. But it's not bad. I still believe he'd do well at Chelsea. That begs the argument, why not, why are we forfeiting our pursuit of De Ligt? I just don't know why. The club, no, you could argue they know what they're doing again. But that's just the update there. And then I think I've read this one too. And I will come back to the panel. Anybody else want to add anything to what I just shared on the screen? I know the bus driver of the Panic Chelsea fans already complained about Raheem Sterling's travels.
Yeah, carbon footprint. You need to look at
that. Nicola, do you want to say anything?
I think Rodriguez is looking for the plane that he's on. Make sure he's on it.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's gonna, he's like he's a driver of those the conspiracy theorists, Chelsea fans. He's probably telling them, don't mind them. It's just nonsense. It's just fake news. He's probably still in Jamaica, breaking open coconuts, putting it in some rum and drinking it and enjoying himself. And we here think they're telling us he's coming. He's not coming. But that's, by the way, again, we're just joking anyway. And I know you guys know, in fact, he's probably on his way to the United States, as we're seeing in there. Again, Gallagher Davis says, okay, here's a very funny comment. Comic 6, he stepped away for a bit. Did we sign anyone while he's away? No, not really. We just, some news for you. That Raheem Sterling is on his way to his to the United States to join his new teammates, and that's where he gets unveiled during one of the games. But we're hearing that it's fake news from the chairman of the Chelsea Panic Association. We're just kidding anyway. But truthfully, he's on his way to the United States. Again, it says the argument reminds me of Luis Diaz's performance against Real Madrid in the Champions League finals versus against Chalobah. Diaz hardly made any runs against Carvajal because he read Diaz's next move perfectly. It's about intelligence, not about you being the quickest player on the pitch. I sent you an update, Coachella. Yeah, thank you very much. I think I've looked at it. Is that a new one? Did you send a new one? Yeah, I think that's the one I read. Thank you very much for the update. I appreciate that. I'm saying, Coachella, are you going to the CFC game in Vegas? We want a match day vlog. I have a plan to go. I want to take my boys, my wife, even my in-laws. That's the plan. Hopefully they will all agree to go with me. I think I want to make it fun for everyone. Fabrizio confirmed Raheem Sterling passes medical and on his way into Los Angeles to be confirmed as a Chelsea player. You've always told me when I said if Fabrizio says it, then I believe it. You said, why do I believe him? Now you believe him? That's unbelievable. So, that Comics says, wow, congrats on the 4K Chelsea perspective. Thank you very much. The 4,000 subscribers isn't something I expected to come so soon. I think the channel has, it has seen an unprecedented growth measure this period. And it's not just because of me alone. It is because of the likes of Rodrigo, the likes of Declan, all of the panelists that have joined one time or the other. Please always check out, go follow them on Twitter to support them. Rodrigo, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I also and you also need to thank Lukaku for all the drama he provided us.
So you're saying everything I said is fake news? It was Lukaku that made it happen.
And declared.
That guy made my presence online. I was in early. I was in early on Lukaku. I should.
Yeah.
You know what I want? You know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of find when I first some of the first early ones, the videos I made and talked about Lukaku on all the different channels, and make a little compilation on how. But the weird look. I'll be quite honest, yeah. With Lukaku, not even me, who was against him, would have guessed he only scored, what was it, 8 Premier League goals and be this bad.
Yeah.
And for me, down tools, or people want to say other factors, but to be this bad, I didn't think he'll be this bad, right? No one could have guessed he was going to be this bad, even if you wanted Haaland and whatever. So it is quite funny, but Lukaku did stir a massive split in the fan base over time, and it was a big argument, talking points, a lot. You're on mute, coach. Could I do his voice?
No, he's on mute.
Yeah, I agree on Lukaku too.
No, I was saying, yeah, you guys got me. I was saying, I hope you guys saw what's on the screen about Armando Broja, that Chelsea will be making a decision that could affect him and other players. I mean, I think it's more, especially the youth players like Ampadu, Billy Gilmore, and others, and other good players, youth players that are in the team. But that's, by the way, now Manny says Koulibaly would be good for us, Declan. You said if we get him for a good deal, and with his seniority, his experience, I guess you mean, when you say seniority, you also mean experience. It can go a long way. I don't see Koulibaly folding with a weak mentality. He's not the one to do so. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he will be good for us. But it's important also to try and see things from the class angle. There's always something to learn there. There's a chance. Again, how good it's in Italy is no guarantee that he comes and be that good for us. But I'm hopeful. Given how good he is, I think he's still he'd be good for us. Again, again, a lot is going on now, but I think it's on the screen here. You keep looking at it, and after the show, I'll put up the automated show to help you stay updated, so you don't have to go on Twitter and try searching them one by one. The way it's programmed is that once it's an update from them, you'd see it here. It says, beat you to it. Okay, it's talking to Tribune. We need Koulibaly horsepower for the least, for the likes of Salah and Haaland. I think you could argue that he's good aerially, and you can muscle him out. For pace, his pace has come down a bit, but his intelligence, I think, will lead him, will lead him through the Premier League troubles that he faces. So what's that? That's like 32 million. That's actually a steal. I think if it is indeed comes down to 32 million, I think it's a good deal. And I still believe he will play for 4 years at the highest level. And maybe just, I believe that. You know why I believe that?
Yes.
Here's the thing. The only thing he'd do, he has to, make some adjustment to the way he approached the game.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. It says, Kochi, transfer hijackers are listening to you. They might... hijack Koulibaly. I think nobody has actually hijacked our deals. We were the one trying to hijack other people's deals. So that's the way you see it. Declared, I think our circumstances and his price tag is a risk worth taking. Manny admits it's a risk, but it's worth taking. Again, every time you sign players from all the, you can say, leagues, there's a risk involved. So there's no guarantee that...
Yeah, and also I wanted to add something. Especially in a team that has lost like 2 experienced centre-back. If we had Rudiger and Christensen and we needed to bring in another centre-back, then I can understand why we don't really want to bring a Koulibaly, as good as he might be. But because we've lost them 2 guys, I think it's good to bring in someone with his experience. And on top of that, we definitely need... I think we need a centre back that has the legs to play as a right back or left back as well. When we need.
Well, for my look at the way I look in the team at the moment, right, is that the team hasn't hit their best peak yet, right? It's a pretty young foundation, so when you said we lost some of the experience, yeah, but I do want a younger defender to grow with the team, right? So when the team hits their peak, they're also in their peak, and then we can go win a lot of stuff together. When that happens, Koulibaly will be on his decline, right? So that's why, for me, Koulibaly is a short term, if it is true. It is a short term, or maybe he can do what Silva did and continue on and be here for when we are at our best, right? But that's why other profile players have been probably looked at, like De Ligt is a young great player, so it's a different type of maybe look at it like this. Let's say De Ligt was our first priority because of the reasons I said. Now, you go from a young defender, great potential and doing well, to the other end of an older player, then what does that kind of show you? It means that, yeah, we wanted a young defender, but now we just need someone there. We need someone with quality there, right? So it goes to show where their mindset on how they're going about some players. Or is it just about having a good first season? Because there is no director of football to have a plan like I just described about what players to go for and characteristics. Is it just about having a good start for Todd Bowley? And so does that mean we end up with Koulibaly, maybe Robert Lewandowski and players of that, just so we can have a decent season? Is that where we're at? So I think it's hard to know because we've been linked to so many players, but we haven't had certain transfers in to say it looks like they're going for players under the age of 25, for example. See, now Sterling we got in, and Sterling was a great buy, but Sterling's on the higher age that I just gave. We're not buying players under 25. He's 27 in his peak. It's still good, but have we just gone for, like, because Kounde's been dropped out, right? Or maybe we're still in the mix. Which type of player are we actually going for? De Ligt is different to Kounde. Koulibaly, they all have different profile, age, and the whole worth to it. So is it that there is not much of a plan, and that we joined the race late and we're just desperate for certain players, and we're just everywhere, which could be a bit of a problem because it's not really planned. That brings up a whole different argument on who we're going for and what we're doing.
I feel like you can see we're going for experienced players. We maybe Tuchel is tired of all these young. You want to add some more experienced players.
Glenn,
yeah. I was talking about Transformers before too.
We might have internet problems.
Look, if I was happy with just Sterling, but if Broja goes,
oh yeah, that's different now, because if Broja goes, then we have to bring in someone else in attack. I was happy to keep. Yeah, I was actually saying, oh yeah, we don't need to bring in any attacker. Maybe if he goes, maybe the Serge Gnabry links are more than just links. Maybe we are actually considering this. And look at that. Maybe it's another pattern here is maybe because it's difficult to negotiate with players that are in contract now. So maybe we're going for these players that are like in the last year of their contract.
Yeah,
that's probably easier, and the clubs are the more willing to sell those players now to take as much profit as they can. And for a team that's missed a lot of the early negotiation rounds that you do before the season ends, now we just need to rush. So we need to get in for either free targets or players in the last year of the contract. So hopefully, this tells me maybe this Serge Gnabry talks are probably more than just maybe we actually are gonna consider him. So if we lose Broja and get him, I mean, they're not the same type of player. I'm still not gonna be entirely happy. But
I'm sorry, guys, if you can hear me now. I had a small technical problem, and
I can hear you, but
I
very low.
maybe I'm joining from here when the main screen comes up. I'm joining from the smaller device. But I was reading something from Green, like I was saying that using hijack is a wrong language in this again. If you want to call it that again, then that's how you see it. But we've come to the conclusions that in most cases we're the one actually trying to hijack people's deals. But that's, by the way, here Mane Kimpembe responding to Mane, and it's Kani says again. There's something. Kani says, I promise I'm not his friend, but I'm so happy about Koulibaly. Still need one or two more defenders. I think we need some numbers in that area. We're losing about 4 defenders because Cesar Azpilicueta and Cesar Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso both count as defenders. It depends on how you want to see it, but I think they do. And here we have DJ. He says, Chelsea perspective, you seem to be such a nice guy. I am a Barca fan from Sweden, and I follow you because I really think your content is great. Keep up the good work. Thank you very well, bro. I appreciate you taking some time to say that. Now I'm blushing, actually, but thank you. I appreciate all the support. And again, pay attention. We're working on a sister channel which will be covering football globally, all the clubs in the whole world that will be able to cover. And it launches in, let's say, in a few weeks, or you can say a month if you prefer. But I want you to keep your eyes open for that. It launches soon. And believe me, it's something you want to be part of. So we'll be covering your team too. So let me take care of this. It looks like I'm back online. So thank you very much for that good comment. I appreciate that. Here we have, let me see again. I'm getting an echo. Rodrigo, can you take over from me? Let me try and fix that, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The bus.
The bus.
You were saying something about the bus.
Yeah.
It goes round and round. I heard it goes round and round. like the transfer news, it goes around and round.
Have you noticed the pattern with Chelsea, right? So at the beginning of the week, like as we are now, we're gonna be linked to a player. He's gonna be very close, and the announcement is always weekend. We come on Friday, there's nothing, and then they feed you with, don't worry, next week, Monday we're linked to another player. The transfer is really close. Chelsea are about to finalize the deal, and then come weekend, nothing, and they keep doing this. Keep the fans hooked on the articles.
Yeah, so but with addition to that, then this club is coming, coming in for him, and yeah, well, he prefers this club. It's just like the Gnabry one. We're gonna link with Gnabry now, and then he's got Arsenal links though. We don't know about that, and this club. It's just I think they just the media just have a jar with a whole bunch of names, and they just pick it out. Chelsea linked with this player today.
Chelsea fans are very active on social media compared to say Liverpool fans. So it's easy. That's why the media always use Chelsea.
Yeah, Liverpool are used to not buying players. That's why they don't look as much.
They never buy players.
Yeah, they buy one player at the start and business done. They don't have to look at anything anymore.
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat, and I'll come back to the panel to give us their final thoughts, so we can call it a day, because we have an evening show, and I can't thank you guys enough, for, getting back, supporting the show, even though it started 5 hours late. Not really late because it was scheduled to start at that time. So thank you for understanding. And just Viola says, I so want a delete. It's also been a reported that Tuchel wants him. Again, there's no way to tell if Tuchel really wanted him. If Tuchel really wanted him, then why are we serious about it? It's that simple. Yeah. Go ahead, Declan, you want to say something?
Yeah, just so people clear out in Viola that I think it's also reported that Tuchel wants all these players. I think he has a big want. and it's also reported that these fans are fans of Chelsea as well.
Yeah,
So,
some of them.
it's a common thing in the news apparently.
Yeah, and people have learned to make up nonsense like De Ligt said he likes the way Thomas Tuchel trains his defenders, that he would want to be part of the Chelsea, just nonsense. And if you want to, honestly, if you go to your that is your Twitter and just tweet, there's a chance we're hearing that Rafinha apparently have decided he doesn't know how Barca are going to pay him his salary. So as such, he's made a U-turn. He's decided to come to Chelsea Football Club. See what happens. You gain like 3,000 followers in 1 hour because that's what people feed on. They like those things.
Yeah.
Look, the only things that have been concrete that have happened, right, apparently, is that we got Sterling and that we put a bid on Rafinha. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else has much weight to it.
And
Nothing,
that's because it's been confirmed. That's because we were able to say, okay, that was in fact the truth after it happened.
I think the Koulibaly one, I think that's also concrete.
Okay, that's by the way. I think it was, but at some point it cooled down. And I don't believe we offered him anything. When we heard that we offered him a salary, I think that wasn't the truth. That was 2 weeks ago or so. But that's by the way. If Chelsea buy Koulibaly, I will be very happy watching you live from Ghana. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you too, my West African Ghanaian brother. Nice to see you here, and thank you for all the support. Glenn says West Ham will be kicking themselves in a year or so when they lose a Rice for less. They act like Rice is one of 10 available midfielders in the world. They must be hammered.
I love
Hamas must be hammered. That's a good one. Coach, a.k.a. Mr. Worldwide. Yeah, thank you very much. And here's Tribly. He's saying being all emotional. Is it because somebody praised the channel and said I look like a nice guy? Well, I wouldn't be the one to say I'm a nice guy. The guy judged, and he said that, and I like it if it's truthful. I appreciate it. It's nice to see someone say I'm a nice person. But True Blue, are you jealous? You let me know. I want to know. But thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, I did see Tuchel wants so many players, all of them. That's even the simplest of all the theories out there. But that's by the way. And this is, let me see. 1 second. The Chelsea megastar just caused my screen to freeze right now. Name me another option that can slide into from off the market besides De Ligt, Declan. My ears are open. Okay, Declan, you answered that question, and after that, please,
Aren't we linked with Ake and Kounde as well? Can I throw those names in there?
Yeah, and the Kounde has been like a zillion years now.
Graviol was another name that we were linked with as well.
Oh, true. Yeah.
I mean,
Vario, Skriniar, Bastoni.
Yeah, Bastoni. There you go. How many names do you want?
Glesson, Bremer, Cucurella.
Wait, don't say it too fast, Coach. I think Manny's writing them down, so don't say the names too fast, so you can write them down. There's heaps of defenders. We've been linked with everyone because it's clear we have to sign someone. There's no doubt about that. So we've been linked with everyone, and they're all potential names that aren't for sale. Even Koulibaly. I mean, at the end of the day, you're dealing with one of the worst negotiators, in football. And he probably still thinks Koulibaly.
Are you referring to the Napoli camp?
Laurentiis.
Yeah.
It's not worse. Maybe brutal.
In his head, he probably thinks he probably still thinks Koulibaly is 100 mil.
That's a chance he does that, and I knew before time the stories that they wanted him to become a part of their board and all that were just nonsense. They're just trying. I think they've known quite for some time now that he wants to leave. It's as simple as that. And I'm suspecting they probably there's a chance that one of those guys looking to sign. I'm hearing they're linked with that is what's his name, Broja. But that's by the way. I think I'll come back to that. Here, DJ Saab says, sorry, happy blue afternoon. Yeah, it's no longer blue morning. People, Kachila, brother, big up to you too. Big up to you too. I'm well, and I do hope you're well too. Here says afternoon, DJ. Just people saying hi to DJ. He's a legend here in the Chelsea community, and nice to have him in the chat. Reports say that Tuchel doesn't prefer Kounde. Yeah, we're hearing that. And then a few days ago, so we went back. We heard that we went back to him. So it's confusing. There's no way to tell.
These reports are so fake. Whoever
Sorry?
manager, the only people that know what Tuchel really wants are his two assistants and maybe Todd Bowley on players. But no one really knows what Tuchel really wants. Like
you don't sound like the boss driver anymore.
Hey, I bet you if I went and looked, I'll find reports where it says Tuchel prefers Kounde. We've been linked for him for over a year now. You're gonna tell me I'm not gonna find an article that says Tuchel wants Kounde?
Yeah, easily.
No one knows. This is what Rodriguez says. People just say, "Yeah, he wants him. Yeah, I heard he wants him."
Yeah.
He's a massive fan. We can't find out the truth.
Because the journalists that go to press conferences, I don't know if they meet Tuchel in the corridor and ask him, so you like this player? Do they actually discuss with Tuchel the type of player he likes? Because I don't think so. I think the only people that actually know, like, they actually have players on the table and say, all right, what do you think about this player? Are those two assistants he has.
You know what happened, Release? They go and ask him. Yeah, they ask him in the press conference.
Yeah,
and the manager will say, the standard answer. I don't talk about any players that isn't mine. Yeah, and they go, oh yeah, he prefers him.
It's like when you get arrested by the police and then you just say no comment, and then the police, yeah, he's definitely the thief that we caught on CCTV. I said no.
All right, DJ says Chelsea make Koulibaly
Big up,
move.
DJ.
And with club still in talks with Manchester City over Aki's fee, Tuchel is still interested in Kimpembe. Tuchel ideally wants 3 new defenders. Maybe Kimpembe will be part of the list. We don't know. Thank you very much for that update, DJ. I appreciate that. Glenn Howard just saying hi to Glenn. My sweat has sweat, but fine for the rest, mate. Okay. That maybe that's an English quote. I don't know, phrase. I don't know what that is. Says Herbert, nice to see you here. Trust me, man, when I tell you that Koulibaly is way better than De Ligt at this moment in time. Anyway, I get your argument. As somebody who follows Serie A, you'd argue that, but other people will argue otherwise. So with that, I think I'm going to get the final.
I don't think anyone will argue that. Who would argue that?
I'm not going to get into that, Declan.
No. No one will argue that. But you're talking about 9 years age difference here.
The age doesn't define who's better than the other. It's as simple as that.
No, the age defines whether a player, when you compare two players, where they're at in their career. So I believe, and maybe everyone agrees, right, that the league is meant to get better and better till he hits his peak age. Right, and he is about 3-4 years off that, right? So to really know how good De Ligt can be, you need to give him some years. Koulibaly is not going to get any better. This is his peak, and he has to try keep what he has, and he's on slow decline. And there are going to be factors on how big that decline will be. That's the difference. I mean, I had the same argument when it was compared against Lukaku and Haaland. How do you compare two players like that?
Yeah,
but when there's 9 years difference, you can't just say, well, he's clearly better than him. I mean, it's 9 years. He has 9 years to play. I mean, if you freeze Koulibaly and then wait till the list 31 and then release them both and see how you go.
Don't judge De Ligt by his third season in Juve. He played on the 3 different managers. I think we've actually talked about that. And I think De Ligt, if declare who you're arguing is a better player here.
Koulibaly is better at the moment, but I see a lot of potential in De Ligt. And I think something that would probably be on the, which I think it might have been Manny, how he said on his seniority, De Ligt has already showed to be a great leader. I think he's learned of some of the best. For his age, that's great, and that's something we're slowly going to be missing out of our team in the coming years. As we're losing some of our experienced and leadership players, we need someone to emerge. And if we had De Ligt, that would be great, because I'll know... You know how I said the same thing about Rice? So as in the coming seasons, we're losing this presence, some of these players you can already see, and they'll step up. And that's something that would be great if we had De Ligt, or even like Rice.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that argument. And again, I've read this. This is a young age. Good things in the perspective of financial return in case of a sell-on value. Again, that's where the Ligt purchase makes sense. I would take Kimpembe over Aki, and he is a left-footed and same up, a price for Aki. Again, it makes sense. And that's a good argument there. Again, football style. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you finding time to join us. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're well. Barcelona have asked Koulibaly to wait for them, but Chelsea are pushing hard to sign him. I don't think he'd wait for them. I think he's coming for us.
That news was a bit too quick for me. I thought they would have waited a day or two. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but give us some good news about Ziyech. Some good news for you Milan fan. I think he joins you guys after us. So that's, by the way, again, what am I really angry with? But there's no reason to be angry at them. It's just that we were frustrated about everything and how the Rafinha thing unfolded. Sorry for the spelling. I am good. Okay, good to know that you're good. The spelling, don't worry about it, brother. It happens to the best of us. Because we have what is called smart devices that aren't smart after all. They try to help you complete the sentence, and then you end up cursing somebody you want to say hello to. But that's, by the way, coming to declare your final thoughts on everything we've talked about today. Tomorrow another final thoughts. That's how Rodrigo says it. Just go ahead, Declan. Let's get it over with today. Another final thought letter today, actually. Go ahead.
You know that Barca news is the final thought.
Go ahead.
The Barca are asking another player to wait. Maybe Barca should ask our fans to wait as well.
Be patient.
Don't worry, they're coming. Be patient.
Maybe they'll listen. You never know. But go ahead, Declan.
Yeah, that's basically it. How about everyone do a Barca wait? Wait on transfers. If Barca fans can wait, and players can wait on Barcelona, maybe we should have the Barca patience.
Patience of Brockman. That's
again, I think that's Declan's actually final thoughts for at the moment. So you comment, Rodrigo, your final. Anyway, your thoughts. Let me just put it this way. Your thoughts on everything we've talked about today, so we can call it a day.
Good. Yeah. I missed quite a chunk of the show from the beginning, but I caught up with the De Ligt and Koulibaly conversation, which was really good. Koulibaly is a player that I've always admired, and he'll be a player that I'm actually looking forward to. I think he'll wear a number 2 shirt when he joins. So I'm looking forward to that signing. Final. So that's my final thought, really. My final thought for now. I mean,
it makes sense to me. Robert says the problem with this transfer campaign is too much publicity about targets. Keep it low. I think, good luck keeping it low. I think the structure for it to the media to always know the players that Chelsea are looking at is already there, and it's a difficult one to dismantle, if you ask me. But we'll see what happens. Glenn says, try not to laugh Barca transfer window. I think that's what it is, if you want to call it that. Chelsea cannot even buy their groceries without Barca trying to say, wait, I think I touched that one already, so just move on to the next one. This is mine. Yeah, declared spot on, bro. That is hilarious. Barcelona wanting him to wait. It is indeed hilarious. But that's, by the way, thank you guys. It's been a brilliant show. I cannot thank you guys enough. Again, I'm going to say thank you to DJ for finding time to join us. Thank you to it's Kami. Thank you to the Queen of the House, Just Viola. Thank you to Robert, always joining us. He's a Chelsea fan and an AC Milan fan. And very soon we'll be launching a channel that covers all the clubs in the whole world. And I'd like you to be part of it. And again, I'd like to do a collab with Football Style. Again, brother, thank you for finding the time to join us. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you to the Queen of the House, Just Viola. I hope you're doing well. And to everyone else that has participated, again, I cannot thank you guys enough. And I'm rounding up the show. My screen is acting up again, so I must try the best I can to fix the other window. If you can hear me, Rodrigo, any of you can take, again, let's see if it's, if you can start talking a while. Declan, maybe you have anything to say while I try to fix this issue now on my screen.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm really quite curious on how many players are actually waiting for Barca, and how many players are actually waiting to get paid by Barca. Is Barca really the dam, the choking point? Is Barca holding football? Wait, is Barcelona telling football to wait? Is that what's happening?
It's looking more like that's what's happening, and football is indeed waiting. Again, Declan, thank you very much for that comment. I think we can call it a day. Thank you for holding the fort with me while I fix the issue I'm having here. See you guys at the end of the day for the evening show. God bless us all, and bye.